am waiting for people to arrive. Is there anybody here? I see no one. So I'll say hello. Hello, people. Hello. Oops. Hello, people. There we go. Would anybody arrive there? Methinks not. But you know what? I'm just going to hang out. I'm going to share my screen with people that ain't here. And I'm going to say things, Bear. Bear, I'm saying stuff. Oh, hey, 7 people. Hell yeah. Sorry, man. I was sharing my screen. I apologize. Anyway, look, man. It's pushing midnight. Normally bedtime for me. But I watched the Super Bowl, man. Was up a little late. And, while I never really go live at this hour ever. In fact, normally I'm getting ready to go to bed. I figured I'd just sit on here and hang for a bit. Maybe talk. Maybe express some points. Maybe just do what I do best. So here I am rambling. Well, let's talk about the Super Bowl for a minute. I don't know if anybody watched the Super Bowl. Probably the most of you did. I did. Anyway, man, I took the 49ers. I lost $1.03 on it, but I really wasn't upset. I didn't like either team. In fact, if both teams lost, guess what, man? I would have felt pretty good about life. I would have. You know what? Smart Money says right now I got 9 thumbs down. What do you want to bet? What do you want to bet? I got 9 thumbs down, man. See? Thank you. Right on. Hey, man. What's up, Ben? Glad you guys made it. Anyway, like I said, man, I was just doing this just to kill time till about 12:30. So if anybody wants to call in, anybody wants to talk about the Super Bowl and or other stuff, such as boxing, Delphi Case, Evansdale, Mary Pryor, Ann Page, Susan Collins, or, anything really. I mean, I'm a man of many, hey, James. 1998. Wow. That's going back, dude. I don't even know who was in it in 98. I mean, that's really going back. I know how old I was. The Super Bowl always follows my age. Super Bowl 54, just turned 54. So I got that going on. However old I am, that's the Super Bowl. In fact, I would really like to catch Super Bowl 100. That seems like something that I would be about. It's like, well, shit, here I am. I'm watching Super Bowl 100. I guess I made it this far. God, I would be like 103 months old, man, at Super Bowl 4. Anyway, did anybody have anything that they wanted to say? Or, maybe people just showed up just to hear me talk. I mean, it is a midnight ramble, and it ain't even midnight yet. So, I mean, I got time. Of course, there is numbers that could be dialed. I don't think there's anybody on here that's going to be dialing any numbers anytime soon. But there it is if you like. Because it's on you, man. Discuss whatever you want, man. I don't care. Talk about my beard or goatee or however they pronounce this shit these days. Ooh, yeah, okay. Let me get that straightened out. Don't want to look like Grandpa Who. All right. Well, anyways, on Tuesday's show, I do have Delphi Justice, who's going to be a special guest on Tuesday. She stopped by today, and I kind of invited her to be a special guest, but she says, well, I don't really want to because we don't see things eye to eye here. And I'm like, well, it isn't really like that. You know, it's not like I have you on the show to debunk your thoughts. It's really her show, you know, same as it was Randy's, Incognito, anybody that's been a special guest on my show, Miss Cavalier. You know, it's basically their show. They can come on, kind of state their case and really make it about them. But it gives me someone to verbalize with as well. And, you know, and plus it's good for call-ins because people really like it. When people are talking about the case, you know, it draws out their interest and things that they want to ask. So you get a lot of call-ins like that. Now, I like the call-ins because here's why, man. If I got a special guest, no matter whom it is, whether I agree with them or not, it is their show, okay? And it does allow for the call-ins. And the call-ins are good because that gives me questions to answer. Because if I'm just sitting here talking, remember, man, for the last year, all I've done is repeat myself. Very little has came out, man, that was extra. Anything new on the case. So, you know, when I'm sitting here talking, I'm just repeating myself, and I don't want to do that. In fact, I got tired of that about a year ago. So that's one reason for a special guest. And if anybody out there has a special guest that they want on my show regarding the Delphi case, almost entirely. Now, it could be on a different case, and I don't mind that. But I want it to be an unsolved case. I don't want to be sitting here talking about all the evidence that somebody has on somebody that's already arrested, that law enforcement has the same one, you know. But if it's a unsolved case, yeah, I very much enjoy that because as much as we're talking, I'm also learning about the case. That helps me out, you know, quite tremendously. Now, that one lady that Incognito Society was talking about, Ruby Carr, I want to look further into that, but man, that case is like 50 years old. I mean, 50, man. What, that happened in, God, like about like 1969, 1970? Man, the picture looked older than that, though. It really did. But I would like to look further into that because if there's enough evidence there in time, you know, I can kind of piece the crime together. And that's what I enjoy doing. But there wouldn't be any person of interest that I could point at, man, at a little bitty small town in Indiana 50 years ago. You know, so it really takes that out of the equation. Hold on a minute. Got a parched throat. It's great soda. So, anywho, does anybody here watch Delphi Justice? Have you listened to her speak any? Anyone? I'm watching chat, but I'm not really seeing anything. Okay, I guess nobody has. Nobody's heard of her. Well, she lives there just outside of Delphi. She used to live in Camden. Now I think I forget where city she said she lived in. I think it was Bringhurst. It's like right up the road from me. But anyway, she speaks on the Delphi case, at least to a degree. Mostly it's just her chatting, but at the same time, she does know some on it. She was a friend of Ronald Logan. In fact, when I tuned into her live last night, that's what she was discussing, was that she had the public documents about when he went to trial, that he didn't plead guilty to drinking that day. So anyway, I thought it'd be kind of cool to have her on. And then plus the one time when Greeno had went out there, she was standing over on Ronald Logan's property with some other people saying, "You don't come over here. If you do, you're trespassing, man." You know. Anyway, I thought it would be a good idea. Man, is the chat working? There's 18 people here, and there's like nobody talking. It's like, seriously, me talking to a screen that shows 18 people. Is there a damn one person here? God, it's not even midnight, man. I ain't even started my ramble. Nobody here. It's like talking to thin air. I swear this out here. I wonder how long I could sit here and stare at the number till it started to just go away. 18 people. Could I see it hit 17? Could I see somebody in chat? Could anybody be recognized as like, yeah, I'm here and shit? Oh, okay. Wow. And suddenly, like, everybody pops up at once. All right, man. It was like my chat was broke. Hey, Healthy Lime. Healthy Lime. Cool. Cool name. Peter Hardy, Kathy, Ben, Nana Margie. Cool. Okay. All right, man. Well, thank you guys for being here. It means the most to me, Mr. Cat. It does. Hey, and Devil Ants, man, up late, man. Right on. You know what? Got my number up there. Want to give a call? Now's your time. Dial away. You'll be first on, man. And probably the only one on at this hour. But we could get to some heart of the matter. Go ahead, man. Dial me down there. Make sure the telephone is on. Oh, hang tight, man. Devil Ants might be calling. Yeah, that's the number. Oh, you ain't got chat and video at the same time? Oh, it is weird. Yeah, I mean, it should be that way on. Oh, give me 5 minutes. Here we go again. All right, man. I'll give you 5 minutes. Yeah, let me know if that works, Healthy Lime. But if you're on YouTube, you should be seeing this with chat. And I don't know why it wouldn't. And that's what I was explaining to Delphi Justice today. She stopped by. She wanted to see how I worked this. You know, and I was showing her, like, you know, how you can pop up the stuff on. You know what? I could probably just show you guys as far as that goes. Bam. Well, if you can follow my mouse here, like, see right over here, this is the comments button. Then this pulls up the banners, brand, private chat. And like I say, you can use this, or I can just take it like right back to me. But anyway, that is how it should appear. But she didn't know how to go live on YouTube. Well, you got to select your name. You know, whatever you're going to broadcast to, like me, I got to click Mr. Cat. Then that means it's going to broadcast to that YouTube channel. So anyway, it should work. So was anybody happy with the Super Bowl? Did anybody want the Chiefs to win? Or was it just scripted that way, as I always state? Because I always tell everybody, if it's Super Bowl, it's going to come down to the final possession. Why? Because that's the way it's scripted. Why didn't they call offsides? They wasn't supposed to. You know? That's why. Because it's a big money racket. And if you believe otherwise, you're just a slave that they want. You're the good guy, man. You're the one who believes. I don't. I don't believe much. I don't believe much of anything they say. I don't believe law enforcement. I don't believe Tobelesme is a man of faith, as he says. Well, I think my faith will get me through. Damn it. Man, I was just going to hit on a good one, too, man. Hang on a minute. It's probably Double Ants. Hello? Hey, it is Double Ants. Man, you want to go live here? All right. Yeah, it's Double Ants, everybody. Okay, big hand. Big hand. There you go.
I said you're starting late tonight. What's going on, brother?
Yeah, I was watching the Super Bowl, man. You know, I mean, I generally watch it, whether I like the teams or not. It's a thing to do with my age. I turned 54. They have Super Bowl 54, you know? So anyway, I watched it. Didn't really care for either team, but at the same time, you know, it was a game.
Well, that's me, man. I mean, I don't even know who won.
Well, I could tell you who won.
Who won?
I think it was the Chiefs. I lost $1.03 on it because my friend wanted to bet. So, do you know what, dude? I got $1.03 in my pocket, man. Yeah, all right. Let me lay it on the line for you. Yeah.
You don't opinion I'm not watching.
Do what?
I'm a Steelers fan, and it comes to NFL.
Oh, yeah? Well, you know what? I'm a Colts fan, man. In fact, man, I can kind of prove that a little bit here.
That brother of mine,
Hang on, man. I will get up like so. Wait, how the hell do I do that? There we go. Colts.
Hey, Mike, what was the new thing that they done the other night on that Indiana Road Show or ISP Road Show? I thought they were going to do another press conference. What brought them on to do that on the road show thing?
You know what? I don't really know. Because as far as I know, that wasn't, it was not said to have taken the place of the press conference. Or at least that's the way I took it. In fact, I still assume that they're going to have a press conference of some kind, but I don't know that. I mean, they haven't stated that. If I called law enforcement, they'd probably say, well, you got to wait for us to put a program out so that everybody knows. But even at that, they wouldn't let me in the front door anyway.
Hey, there's a quick question I was going to bring up to you, and I didn't know if you had seen this aerial photo or not. But one of the other YouTubers, I saw they had done an aerial pan with a drone, and they had a thing. I don't know from what angle or from which side of the bridge they were taking this from, but there is a shed that's back and to the left.
A what?
Do you know if that was investigated or anything during all this?
A what?
Or it looked like, and he even brought it up in his vid. And as soon as I saw it, I said, "Man, I'm going to have to get over Mike." It's an old shed.
Where?
I know. I don't know which side he was doing the drone footage from, but it was back. If you're looking a long way to the bridge, you're standing on one side of the bridge, you're looking a long way, but it's an aerial view. The shed is back and to the left.
Hang on. Let me go look at that on the map real quick, because I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about. When I get there, let me know where it's at.
I don't have it up. Give me a second to pull you up on my TV. I'm on the phone right now.
Well, I'll have it up on the screen here in a second.
Yeah, give me a second. I'm gonna pull you up on my TV right now.
All right. I'm on people's TV. Woo! Shit, yeah, man. Thank you, dude.
Yeah, I'll pull you up on a big screen, man. That way I get to see everything, you know. I mean, I don't get to see the chat on there, but I get to see, your whole stream,
Now, right here is the bridge, and I'll blow this up one better. I don't use Google Earth, man. I don't try to be all gray and shit. And right here is the side that you would be talking about.
Give me a second. I'm pulling it up right now, Mike.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Now, I don't know. It may have, I don't know which streamer it was.
Well, this is where you cross at to get to the south side.
I don't think you got it pulled up on the screen, Mike.
No, it's up.
All right, I see now. All right, cool.
And this right here is the south side of the bridge.
Now, like I said, Mike, all I saw was it was an aerial view. I don't know what side of the bridge they took the view from.
Well, it had to have been the south side, I would think, unless the farmer's got a little shed up here.
All I know is
but there's nothing right down in here.
It looked to be an old shed, and the way he panned it, it was back and to the left of the railroad tracks.
Back and to the left this way, because there isn't anything over here, but over here, I mean, if it was like up in these properties, but then again, you wouldn't see that going down the Deer Creek any.
It'd be on the left there, Mike.
But which way? This left or this left to back over here?
Well, if you're taking a video, Well, I don't know, Mike, to be honest with you. Hell, I don't know. I don't know what side he was doing the view from. There was no, he didn't say.
See, like back in here, well, I don't think there is, but there could be. But I don't think that.
See it. It was quite a distance, to the left and over, like it looked like it was on a ridge, in the woods. But it was there definitely. And I was wanting to know if that was investigated because he never, the guy in the video touched on it for a second, and what his deal was, he touched on it to where the captain had brought up that book talking about or movie or whatever they was talking about, the cabin,
the shack, yeah.
And he said that in his video, he said he didn't seem to think that's what they was talking about. And I was like, you never know,
No, you know what? I mean, I would deny that, like, for me right off, because I think once he got him across there, you're looking at the time. There's a timestamp to that crime of 20 to 22 minutes. And for him to, like, go down here, from here,
no. I didn't want to talk about. What I thought about was he possibly camping out up in there?
Well, and again, but this is what I'm pointing out, was that he was parked. Hang on, let me lower this a little bit. He was parked back up here, right next to this building, right here. He had backed in, I do believe. This is where he began and walked all the way down to here, crossed the bridge, and was down in here. Now, when he abducted him, from the time that he abducted him here, got him down to here, down, followed this down, and got back over to here to this point right here, and this is where the crime scene was, right in here.
Yeah.
If I can get my thing. There was 20 to 22 minutes here before he left and got back here, and then was spotted at 10 minutes till 3. So what I'm saying is that the suspect drove there, committed the crime, waited, and then committed the crime, and then left. But to think that he had went over somewhere, took them into a shack, did that, transported their bodies back, I mean, you can see that would be a lot more time. There would be a lot more time added on to the amount of time there was at the crime scene itself.
Well, my thing is what I was asking, is I was wondering before the crime, way before he even come out there to the girls, I was thinking maybe he was sitting up there in that shed or whatever, just camping or hiding out or whatever, laying in wait like a damn predator,
Well, kind of my take to that was because the lady that lived in this house right here, and I know it's delayed some, but she lived right here. Now, right here where the train tracks went through, and you can still see where the trail is, where, to where they had left, because it comes all the way up here, right here, and crossed Highway 22. And I remember when the tracks crossed there, man, back when my dad brought his place in 86. So that right there, all up through here, is a trail that goes through those woods. Well, the lady walked her dogs out and headed back down this way toward the railroad tracks. Well, he was in the wood line back down here on the south side, right here. That's where she came across him at, okay? And I think that's where he was waiting for an opportunity, was in that wood line. Because if he had field glasses, which I believe is in this pocket right here, I believe that is field glasses, not a pistol. I think that was in his holster. And I think he was looking across, and he was waiting for somebody to cross that bridge that was opportunistic. Something that a victim that he had in his mind. You see where I'm at? It's because by the time they got to that south side, they were abducted. It began. When it began, he took them over there. The crime lasted 20 to 22 minutes, depending, and he left. Now, to say he had been there and ever had been in that, I had never seen that shack. I'm not saying it isn't there, but wherever it is, he wouldn't have had a good eyesight to the bridge, I can tell you. Because any place where you can see to the bridge, I've been there. I've been through that area.
Well, I got another question too, Mike. I don't know if I know this don't have any pertinence to anything, but it was just something that it was curious. how long, right there where the bridge is and everything, how long would it take a person at a steady walk, I didn't know if you'd done this or not, or if anybody else had done it, from right there at that park or at that trestle to downtown Delphi? Is that a pretty good distance away?
No. But I'll tell you why I know that. Because one of my thoughts was in one of my older videos, and I think I got it up on this channel, and it was called his escape route. Well, if the man did not drive, and that's how I started that video, providing that the suspect did not have a vehicle, then the only place he could have came from would have been Delphi, because he wasn't seen walking on a country road. Nobody passed him. Nobody could identify the guy except for the two people that seen him. Flannel shirt guy walking in, and the lady walking her dogs from here that saw him right here. Those were the only two people. Now, if he didn't have a vehicle and he wasn't out hitchhiking on the highway, nobody picked him up, he wasn't on a country road, he wasn't seen walking back into Delphi this way, then the only way it could have happened would have been to go right here. Okay, you would cross the bridge, go right up into here. This is the Samuel Milroy. Now you take the Samuel Milroy right on back. Now what happens is you got Branch Run that runs right up to here, right up through there. You cross that, come right up here, or actually you ain't even got to go that way. You just come right in here, cross that road, hit the railroad track, and take the railroad track right back into the residential part of town without being seen. And that was something that I had thought of. Now, when I did that, I made a video of it because I walked all the way back to here, and then I got up to here, and I was just showing the railroad track was right there. But as far as a walk, look, man, coming from all the way down to the bridge to here, to get up to here, and to get back into the residential part of town, that's only a couple of minutes. You see what I'm at?
Yeah.
And I believe that that's why they handed that information out of the Delphi briefing. He's ages 18 to 40, lived in the Delphi area, may have worked here. I'm like, no. Because once I knew that the guy drove and I knew who it was, it really wrote all that out. And I knew that they were lying. Just same with the news sketch.
Well, the thing is, if he did walk back down into that town, he would have to do dodging on security cameras and all that good stuff, too.
Yeah, right. And again, I mean, because we asked Tobe Lesenby about that. We was like, did you guys check the security cameras in town? Anything like that? And he's like, well, yeah. Well, we haven't found anything yet, but I mean, there's more that we got to go through. So, but that was like right up front. Hang on a second. G-Spot, Mike, Ben, Chris, Michelle, how you guys doing? Glad you guys made it. It's a midnight ramble. Hope you guys are on board. I watched Super Bowl up a little late on the phone with Devil Lance. Good man. Glad he called. Carry on.
Well, I got to thinking about those things. I said, well, I'm going to hit Mike up and see what his thoughts on it was anyway,
I'm here 24 on the 7, but I usually go to bed at about 12. Shut the ringer off like shortly after 12 and go to bed. But I was going to be up for a little bit tonight. Got a little pumped during the Super Bowl, man. I was a little pissed. Looked scripted. They always do. It's always last possession's going to win the game. You know that. It's the Super Bowl. It's how it's wrote. How many times you see somebody go to a Super Bowl and just get their ass kicked?
Yeah, it's been a long
pretty
time.
rare. Yeah, it was before the scripting settled in. Now every game's scripted. It's just that way.
Any more news on the Adrian Quintel case up out of Michigan?
You know what? No, but I expected more. I expected more out of that. I don't believe the fact that she just freaked out and fell in the river and drowned in 3 feet of water. It don't make any sense to me. That makes as much sense to me as the rest of it. None.
So they're just writing it off, eh?
Yeah, it's what it sounds like. It really does, man. It sounds like they're just, well, that's the way it happened. She flipped out, man, shot the whole damn place up and ran to a river and drowned. Happens all the time in Benzie County.
God almighty.
Yeah.
I hate to live there.
Yeah, I know, man. That seemed like a really nice place till she went and died like that. Now you got to watch your neighbors, man. They might be freaking the hell out.
Hey, you know, I was going to tell you, I was online the other night, and I was, it was in one of those little shopping channels. And, you know, a hat like Uncle Eddie wore in Christmas Vacation.
Do what?
You ever watched that Chevy Chase movie, Christmas Vacation?
Hell yeah.
You remember the hat that Uncle Eddie was wearing while he was out there in the yard, or Cousin Eddie when he was out there in the yard, in the street pumping his, crapper into the drain?
No, it's been a while.
Over the years and stuff.
What about it?
I saw one online the other night. It buttons up in the front, but you unbutton it and it comes down like a bill, a short bill of a hat.
Really?
And I went back and I looked at that dang photo of Bridge Guy, and I was like, man, what are the chances? And I was thinking, when they done all the searching on TV, I wonder if when they went to his house and done everything like that, if maybe they found something like that in his possession.
Well, I mean, I would kind of sum it up a little bit like this. The two people that seen him with the hat on. Now, it's a flat cap, not exactly like mine where it's rounded. It's got more of the top that goes to the front right there. Now, both of them seen him with that hat on. They gave him one like mine because they wasn't quite clear on the type, but they said it was very similar and looks a lot like my cap. So I'm pretty sure that he had that kind of cap on. Now, when Thomas Bruce was arrested, he was wearing the identical cap. Now, they said that he was wearing a, God, what's the name of that jacket?
Oh, what about windbreaker like Nigel?
No, it's a, it's got the little tag right here on the left.
Oh, members only?
No. Hang on. It's like a Carhartt or something, but maybe it was a Carhartt jacket.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking his age, maybe it's a members only jacket or something.
But, he was dressed pretty much identically to Bridge Guy. Now, I point out again, I think that the giveaway on that was because when they fingerprinted him, I think the fingerprints came back to the unknowns from Delphi. Now, I say that for two reasons. There was two murders in Michigan, Mary Pryor and Dan Pates, where DNA and fingerprints was left. However, they couldn't find a person on them. There was nobody that had been arrested with those fingerprints or DNA. Just the same with identical with Delphi. Well, when you see a brutal rape and that person had never did time before, that kind of draws suspicion. And that's why the FBI was there on day one. I call 14th to day one. The bodies hadn't been found. When they were found, they were already there before they were found. So, I really do believe that the clothes he was wearing were probably the exactitude of what he wore in Delphi.
Yeah, I saw it, man. It just when it just popped off, and I was like, I should have took a screenshot. I can go back to it, screenshot, and send it over to you via email. It just piqued my curiosity, and I saw it. I was like, man, I said maybe, just maybe, you never know. And
yeah, well, I'm with you because when you see something that looks familiar, but I think that the lowdown is because when you watch the video where the pictures of Bridge Guy, you can't really tell that is a hat. Not exactly. It looks like in some, yeah, it could be a hat. In others, it could be a hoodie. Hey, there it looks like hair. It's really hard to determine. But they did say he had a hat on, but the style of hat, they couldn't really specify. They wasn't really staring at his hat, but the lady said he definitely didn't have blue eyes. So, I mean, I do take it that law enforcement was probably telling the truth there. And
go ahead, sorry.
No, go on.
I blew it up every way known that I could, with my brother's help. and trying to look for a button or insignia or anything on the front of that cow. You know, after I seen that online,
Yeah.
you know, just trying to match it up. And the more you blow it up, man, them pixels just turn to crap.
It does. Exactly. It really does. And that's why I tell people, they'll take those photos, man, blow them up, man, and then say, see, he's holding a puppy in his arm. What the hell do you mean he's holding a puppy in his arm, man? Man, give that person some brain cells, man.
You know, the thing is I wonder if the police have a better photo that they could release, or somehow they could enhance it to where the public could do their diligence and enhance it without the pixels going nuts like that. I'm just wondering if they have anything in their possession like that. So,
well, Anna, Abby's mom, when she was on Dr. Phil, I believe, brought up the fact that she had talked to the FBI, and the FBI had said, look, man, we sent it to NASA, Disney, Pixar. This is as good as it gets. So really? It was taken on a cell phone. Now, here's the thing, man. If you're way far away from me, way far, I mean, like, you know what? Say you're down here past the dumpster, which is like 50 yards from me, and I go out front, and I got the same cell phone that she does, and I pan across your image, man, where it's like still, well, you take a step and a half. Now, I'll guarantee you that when I pull that video up, it's going to be very clear. Very clear.
Yeah.
It's going to be clear enough that even though you're really small, you could clearly see you. Now, if I take that video and I blow it up and keep blowing it up until I got that, then it's going to be pixelated. But what law enforcement is holding is the clearer image. And I don't know why they would hand us that. And that was my beef at the first year press conference. I said, look, man, you have given us 3 pixelated images. You put them around the world 3 times. It has went around the world 3 times. Nobody knows who this pixel is. You got local, state, and federal people working this investigation. What are you doing? They didn't like that. They didn't like that at all. They didn't like that so much they wouldn't let me back into a second year, period. Hey, there she is.
You know, I talked to, you know,
glad you could make it
here where I live, and was telling him, you know, about Michael online, and I talked, you know, in this little community, we talk about the, you know, this unsolved case. And was telling him, you know, about the crime. I don't know if he's checked it out since then or not, but you know, he was telling me that, you know, in his job and where he had heard that they would do, the FBI and the state police would do their diligence, and they would go and pull sat photos of the area immediately. And it makes me wonder if they haven't got something like that in their possession.
You know what I'd like to do is I would like to take 2 people, just 2 people, and put them down there where the crime scene was, okay? And then I would like to go over that in the daytime with the drone, slowly, over the top, lens down, and see if people don't go, oh, yeah, right there they are. Because, look, they had helicopters out there flying over that whole area, and I thought, there was no leaves on the trees. How could they miss 2 people right there? Were they not looking?
Well, I don't know. I was just thinking maybe they could, if they did, maybe, you know, that they was looking to see the route used and possibly could use that for their investigation, where he was parked and all that, and possibly ID. But you never know. You know, I mean, it's just their investigation. You just don't know.
Yeah.
He brought up something on the DNA when I was watching the other day, one of the videos, and then he come back around and then made a comment like they didn't have nobody to compare it to, and I was like, yes, you do, you know, but I understand why you're not telling us, but I wouldn't even know why he'd throw that out there. I guess, you know, we're just to keep the, you know, the public, you know, or even, you know, TV being on that they're on him. I don't know. I just found that curious. He threw that out there.
Yeah.
But like you said before, they can't go talk to him, and they're keeping all this hush hush, and playing on like they don't have a clue until they're able to get down there and get him,
Well, I'll tell you what, at the end of this, if for anything, and it really is meaningless to me, I mean, as far as that goes, I mean, it is like a step up, but I can legitimately say I solved this case 2 years before law enforcement. 2 years. That's state, local, FBI, John Kelly profiler, and John Walsh. And I can say, no, not only solved it, I recorded all of my deductions, all of them. Now, that's going to look good for me, but I don't want to look good over murder. You see where I'm at? That makes me look kind of shitty. But at the same time, it ain't about that. It's about, I put 4 years of work on this case. And you know what? I want something. I want something for figuring that out, because nobody else was doing it. Everybody else took the opposite side. Everybody else ran with Facebook rumor. Everybody else concocts rumors that sounds good, but not a damn one of them used common sense, anything logical, anything with criteria, anything with the programming, criminal behavior, any evidence, be it circumstantial evidence, supporting evidence, anything like that. Nobody gives a wicked piss about it. Nobody cares. You explain it to them, and it's like, oh, dang, the way it happened at all. My God, didn't you hear? There was a gang of people, dude. God, are you stupid? Because people just don't get it.
Before we found your channel, and I saw where they done their little their press conference and everything, and he was talking like they would be in that room and all that stuff. I went off and like I said, this is before I got into your channel and stuff. I was thinking, maybe it was a firefighter or EMT or somebody like that, in that small community. And I started checking those avenues to see if anybody, on those fire, trying to find what I could find online, if anybody looked similar to dude on the bridge, And I just wasn't having any luck at that at all, man. And, because I didn't have any names or anything like that. I was trying to hope to pull up, group photos of the fire department, and, the ambulance personnel and all that. Because, like he said, we know you could be in this room or whatever, and before I found your channel, your mind's going in a million different directions, thinking, hey, wait a minute, this could be one, somebody that's close to home, And then now, once, TV and all that, I was a million miles away, that direction. I just hope that, one day, soon, that this resolves and they're able to get his ass up there in Indiana and do what needs to be done.
This is going to be a while. And I was talking about this today, and I've talked about it numerous times. I think that we're going to be looking at quite a few in California. And if they run them by the time that they were done, okay, you would start in California, then it would go to Michigan in 97 and 99. Then it would probably go back to routes that he had traveled from St. Louis, including Evansdale. Tennessee could be involved. So could Beth Bentley. But I'm drawing Beth Bentley to the outside because I know nothing about that murder. And I cannot tie him directly to it. I can say if he was in the area code where Susan Collins met her end, he's likely your main man. Now, and I bring that up for this reason. Again, I'm going to share right here for a minute, if you guys do not mind. Second paragraph right here. This is from Thomas Bruce to the editor of the paper. This is when he was pastoring the church there in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Second paragraph. I am also for a strong deterrent to horrific crimes. I take no joy in seeing a human being put to death for a crime. However, it is necessary for a society to have laws and rules. Now, the reason that I bring that up is for this reason. There was a man who was wrongfully accused of that murder that he had committed, I believe. He may have committed. And I don't think that he's seen that happening. I don't think that he thought another man would be hit for that and put to death. Now, I know at that time in 97 and 99, that article right there was wrote in 2004. He committed 2 murders, 2 brutal murders in Michigan. Okay, but Michigan isn't a death penalty state. Tennessee is. So I think the simple fact that there was a man at that time who had been on death row for 18 years, that's why he wrote that. And that was good supporting evidence, man. It really is. It's definitely good supporting evidence to show, yeah, this man had a conscience that somebody else was going to die for a crime that he committed. So I sent that to Barry Scheck because I thought that if he's taking it to the next higher court, that could definitely help him. I think that a criminal psychologist would look at that and go, you know what? That does carry some weight.
I'm wondering if he was ever stationed in Maryland.
Could have been. I mean, you know, I'd like to get his military records. It would show quite a bit.
Yeah, but how long would it take to get a FOIA request back on that?
Do what?
How long would it take to get a FOIA request done on that?
You know what? I don't know. I have yet to really look into it. I mean, I know where he was in California. I know where he was stationed at. There at Escondido, man. And I think that that's in San Diego County. Now, my brother's stationed in the same area in the Navy. And I told him, I said, man, if there's any like unsolved brutal rape or murders that you like, you know, come across anywhere, somebody talking about, let me know. Because I would like to look further into them because I believe that he's got quite a few out there. Now, I was talking to Miss Cavalier, and she said, because I can name 6, 7 with Susan Collins, but again, I throw that out there as a maybe. But the other 6, I'm putting as damn positive. He killed those people. Now, if that's the case, and it had been going on for that long, all the way back to 86, California is going to hold a bunch of them. It's going well into double digits. This guy is going to be a very huge serial killer.
Yeah, but it's
got to go through all of those states. That's what's going to take a long time, man.
Well,
not necessarily true, Mike.
Well,
it may seem that way, but the simple fact is you can look up a lot of stuff, and I already have, man. His tax records, his bankruptcy. There is any number of things that you can find in papers. There's a whole lot. I got his MO. I got quite a bit manually. And I totally withdraw off that comment because that is not true.
Well, you might get Thomas Booth's records. Huh.
Well, I mean, you can get someone's DD-214, but I think it's the things that you got to be them or a close family member. But I think there are things to the Freedom of Information Act that you can get where he was stationed and the like. But I know where he was stationed. I mean, I know where to look. But, man, if you look up, like, California death records, brutal rape, stuff like that, man, you get Jane Doe's, John Doe's, and you get that shit all the way back. And there really is nothing listed in there, man, much by law enforcement. So it's really hard to trace that down.
Well, nobody in here for the court can get it.
Do what?
I said nobody in the chat can probably get it, but the court can get it.
Yeah, like I say, man, there's methods. You know, I mean, there's methods of getting it. It's just you got to go through the right angles. Now, I know a lady, in fact, Miss Cavalier, and she really understands, man, how to do that. And she's kind of my go-to person. She's the one that pulled that letter to the editor up. And I told her that, you know, I had sent that to Barry Scheck. And she's like, I didn't even think about that. I said, man, I was playing Euchre. It hit me, and I thought I better hop on and do it now. So I wrote and I told him about that. And she goes, well, you should expect a call back from him. I'm like, I didn't leave a number, you know. So I wasn't about getting a number. I just wanted them to have that in case it helped. But I started that letter off with, if you do not have this information, because they very well may have. They may have went back and checked anything that was ever posted by him. And they could have been holding that back as some kind of supporting evidence.
Yeah, I can remember a time when if you ever went in front of a judge and you had a great military record, that that would go in your favor. They would take that into consideration. Before they pointed that long finger at you and hit that gavel.
Yeah, that's how they play it. You're hit.
All of the brave end of the sheep. All I can say is bad. But anyhow, dude, I'm going to get off here and let one of the other people give you a ring, and I'll sit on the standby and listen. I'm sure someone's going to call.
Well, somebody was calling. We'll see if they call back, man. I appreciate you calling, Devil Lance. It's always nice talking with you, man. You have a good evening.
I'm going to get back in the chat.
All right, peace. All right, so if you was calling earlier, you can call. Oh, you was talking to Michelle. Well, shit. Okay. Oh, good night, Michelle. Hope you have a good one. Make it back Tuesday, please. Yes, I do. In fact, waiter, I do play euchre online. I go to nightink.com. If you go to Nightink and you fill that out, it only takes a minute to make, to register. And, you put your little avatar up there. You can go in there and you will catch me now under the name Blood Moon. I was Woofer, but I had to change it because I had some major disagreements with people, as is normally my case. I do not like people. I do not like hosts. I do not like waiting. And when I must wait, I get very irritated. So I told them to so then I left. But I came back under a different name. So if you ever want to play euchre with Michael J. Cap, who is no longer under the name Woofer, but it is under the name Blood Moon, I'll be right there. Go to the tournament lounge, we'll play. We'll win a trophy, and life will be good. Because there is no one who plays euchre like Michael J. Cat. Peace, Michelle. And Jan's here. Hey, Jan. Yeah, you know what? This is my thoughts on that. I had no part, zero part. I claim this now and back then. That was Greeno's video. I didn't want to film, didn't want to be there, didn't want any part of it. I think he made 3 of them because the first one got so many views, man. John Kelly Profiler was like, well, in the Greeno video. I'm all like, and that's fine, man. I'm glad I'm glad he made something on that, man. I am. But the simple fact is I don't think that that's the way it went down. But I do agree with Holman that it doesn't point to anybody. He did that long before the name Thomas Bruce was ever mentioned to anybody at all. So I don't really put anything on it. I don't know the John Walsh deal. I don't know. They said that they was bringing him and his team. And again, I just point to the fact that John Walsh is a name. He's a face. He's a voice. People trust him. People listen to him. People think that he's like doing the best and he's trying to solve this. But I step back to the side that it's already solved. And it has been for over a year. They've known who it is. They still do. They know that they got to wait. They can't file charges. If they went down, they filed charges, man. He said, I want a speedy trial. Guess what? He's off. He got off, man, that quick. Because what can they do? They say, well, we can't extradite him. He's on court for first-degree murder, facing life without bars. We can't extradite him to Indiana and fuck their case. Well, exactly. Well, so when does the investigation end? When we can get down and talk to him? When will that be? After October of this year. What happens then? Then it will all be known. All of it. Everything. Left arm on the line. Got a high roller, wants to throw $100,000 on it. I'll take their money. I will take their money. Well, yeah, and that's fine because you know what? And again, I mean, to throw it out there, it's like this, man. In 1 year's time, it will look as if I solved the case before local, state, the FBI, John Walsh, John Kelly profiler, had it all done, had it all marked out, had everything in his line, and fucking like notarized and recorded. And that right there is my promise to at least a piece of that. Somebody writes a book that's using my deductions, I get a piece. Making a movie, you use my deductions, guess what? They came out before law enforcement. I get a percentage of that. Otherwise, I can sue. It's common law. I can take them straight to court. They don't answer, I can put a lien right on it. Bam. That fast. And that's why. Because I haven't. I have not sat here for 4 years, man, to waste my time. I mean, the one thing that I do got coming is at least my work. And I have put in substantial work because everything that I've done manually right here on the computer. Every video I made, I edited. Every live I do, I come in to give that information. Why do I do it? Because I want you to have the information. I'm a good guy. What I know to be true, I hand out. Because if I don't hand it out, I'm just being a dick. I don't like being a dick. You know what? Taxpayer-wise, I don't think anything, Mike. I really don't. I don't think that like taxpayers have paid anything. I mean, unless you like put in like law enforcement or their salary, but aside of that, it ain't like they're taking people's tax money to get rich. It's more along the lines of there's a lot of media. You get a lot of people wanting to know, people reaching you. You get interviews, you get money. That all goes hand in hand. Are they working on that? Are they trying to keep it secret so they keep a little money in their pocket? No. They want that guy caught because look, man, this is Delphi, Indiana. This is a small town, real small town. Look, man, when you got a county seat that's 3,500 people population, that's a dinky little town. So they're not really working for any big money, any reason to keep it under wraps. In fact, I'm positive that they would have wished that the guy had never did that. They'd caught him and already had him before Carroll County Court a long time ago. But as soon as they did catch him, once they got that DNA, everything else is coming out of the woodwork. And like I said, I can name 6 with the possible 7th right now. And I know California's got a lot more than that. This was the guy's livelihood. When he got drunk, an opportunity rose its head. There it was. He would hop on it. He wasn't a stalker, though, man. He wasn't like the Night Stalker. He wasn't like a lot of serial killers. Ted Bundy, hell, even BTK. These people would stalk their people. You know, they would keep an eye on them, man. They would know who was around, when they're home, what they're doing. Because that's what he wanted to know. Because that's how he would ambush. You know, that's when he would be there. Now, TB isn't like that. He's very opportunistic. He gets that buzz, man. He's feeling really ballsy. He's feeling really courageous. There's a lone woman next to her car, man. Looks nice. Hey, man, can I help you? I mean, he's a charming, nice guy, man. You know, hey, I can give you a lift into town, man. I mean, you know, give you some help anyway. Oh, yeah, if you don't mind. Yeah, hop in. Well, next thing you know, man, she's laying dead in a ditch the following morning, brutally raped. DNA fingerprints all over her. We don't know who did it. We don't know. We have no clue. Guy's never been arrested before. Well, where have I heard that before? Oh, that's right, from Kim Riley concerning the Delphi case. Because that is what it is. That's exactly how it plays. And it's like that in all of them. The guy's a brutal rapist, a monster, just a real POS. That's just me talking. Yes. Calm down, Nancy. Nancy, calm down. He has apologized. And honestly, Nancy, if you don't mind keeping this between us, I think that there may be something up with Mike, man. I think that he may be suffering from maybe a form of cancer. I mean, he came on and apologized, and I accepted. And I think that we all owe him his fair due. I understand the troll that he has been. I lived it. I was there. I blamed everything on him. But let's calm down a bit. If he starts trolling, easy to ban him. But hey, if he's here for good, if he wants to enjoy the conversation, if he wants to play a part, I'm all right with that. And you know what? I expect you should be as well. Okay, Nancy? Come on, man. Come on, Nance. Give it a chance. And remember, he very well may have cancer. I think that may be the reason for the apology. Exactly. So, I have a telephone number up. And you know what? I want to hear from someone. It's a midnight ramble, man. Don't make me do it alone. Thanks, Nance. You know what? That means the most. It really does. See? I told you. Man, I'm sorry, Mike. Man, I'm sorry I had to bring that to the forefront, but you know, when you got a Sherlock mind, you just kind of see things. You see things before they're mentioned. Man, I hope you get better, though. I really do. Oh, wait, what? I thought you just said you got cancer. Please explain, Mike. Well, if you don't have cancer, then you're just being a good guy. Well, I like good guys, man. That's cool. Okay. Well, fair enough. But, you know, I expect that. Hello.
I apologize because of being a man to you.
Of what?
I apologize to you because it was the right thing to do. It was the manly thing to do. I don't have cancer.
Okay.
Nowhere close to that.
Well, okay. But again, you know, it was just like, you know, I went to the bathroom after the fact and I'm like, man, maybe he's got cancer, you know?
Nah.
Maybe he's only got so long to live and he wanted to make amends.
No.
You know?
Someone that I know dearly just put it is, sometimes it's best to apologize and know what's right and what's wrong. And if anything, we all work together for the girls. And that's exactly what needs to be done for this. It's for the girls.
Well, if I may back up to a comment that you had made earlier, and I could scroll back up and find it, but I think you'll know the one I'm talking about, where you said that the DNA wasn't good because it was a mix.
That's correct. I don't mind to elaborate because I've actually gone to a murder case where they used DNA to make the conviction. So basically, if you don't have an allele count, or if you don't have a statistic threshold count with it, it will not be used in court. So basically what I'm saying is, I believe there is DNA, even with whoever did this. The problem is you're going to have so much mixtures in the area, they're not going to be able to put it together. Plus, let's say it's a fingerprint. The fingerprint goes on there. Yes, the DNA is on there. Problem is, if they do a tape lift, there goes the DNA. If they don't do the tape lift, there goes the fingerprint.
Okay, but what if there were multiple fingerprints? I mean, it depends on what I take to be real. Because here's the thing. I could take, what's his name? Ern, help me out. The guy that found him, man.
That has been to be debate. For me, I'm sticking with John Weaver based on the scanner time and based on what was said on there. Everyone else will go with Andrew Erskine.
Yeah.
There's a JJ on there, James Jones or Jones Johns, whatever his name is.
Well, the point that I made.
It's been a big debate about who found the bodies. I look at it as like, okay, officially, searchers-wise, within their group, JJ found them by whatever theory they want to go with. But if you go based on what law enforcement is trying to tell you, they don't really say who really found them.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that they would.
But what I'm saying is, if John Weaver is actually the one that found them, he's more credible for the fact he brings it up into a water source. Regardless if the bodies are not in the water or not, he brought up a water source at 8:45 in the morning.
What water source?
Okay, if you re-listen to the scanner, they bring up that a citizen found the bodies in the water. That citizen was John Weaver, and they had to do a double confirmation on that. And Toby, or whoever it is, comes back and said, no, we have no confirmation about that.
Right.
So what I'm looking is, okay, if in fact it was really John Weaver that actually found them first, it's one of those, yeah, they weren't in the water, but they were found near a water source.
Yes.
So I'm looking at doing past searching my own self, that if you bring up something about a water source and it was either in the water or not in the water, you're more credible than whoever the actual other people that actually did come across them.
Okay, but at the same time, law enforcement, the media, and everybody exclaimed that it was on Ronald Logan's property. I was there when Ronald Logan went to court. I was there when he said, you know what? Maybe the next time somebody kills someone on, out there, they won't leave their dead bodies on my property, because he was definitely he was an injured party because of the circumstances. I never believed it was Ronald Logan. I never did. I felt very bad for the guy in a lot of ways.
I feel bad for him because I look at it as, and it's like a theory thing, is placed or not placed. If it was placed, I look at this person had to know that Ron was not going to be home in the morning and everything else. Okay,
but wait. I don't buy that.
Okay.
I don't, for this reason. He knew it was private property. He knew it was down a hill. He knew that nobody was down in that area. He had scouted that area, and he knew once he got across, man, that he was like on private property where nobody could see him or hear him. Now, for me to say that he went around scouting everything and said the guy ain't home. Well, once he got back to that bridge, how does he know at that time that that guy's not home? He don't. He can't. I mean, do you see where I'm at?
Yeah, I see where you're going at with the one person scenario. I look at this as there's multi people involved.
I don't believe that. I don't, because it's never been stated.
We've discussed that.
Okay, well, CSI would have pointed that out, and I think that if there was two people, that law enforcement would have came out directly and said two people, whereas they've never said that. They've said person or persons, leaving it open, but they've never said more than that, because they don't know if there wasn't another person back at the car. They don't know that. It could have been persons. But they know single-handedly by
Theorize.
CSI that one person crossed, one person abducted, one person killed, one person left. The lady didn't see two people, nor did flannel shirt guy. There wasn't another person seen out there. CSI would have known, and law enforcement would have told us immediately that there was two people. Why? Because if there was two people and they say, well, he went out there with Bob, but Bob wasn't mentioned. You see where I'm at? Then that would really lay down a lot of confusion to the public when they're trying to solve the crime. So I don't believe that there's two people. And honestly, and I'm not trying to be like a dick or anything like that. Don't want you to take it like that.
Honestly, go ahead.
But at the same time, you know, when people talk about like two people, it's like, I think that that's been overruled since the beginning. I really do. And to think that two people were down there, then that would be like CSI from the FBI knows nothing. And that law enforcement just didn't want this case solved. Well, we got to know better than that, because I think that law enforcement does want this solved. In fact, I think that they want it solved a lot faster than what it's going to be.
That down on the term law enforcement.
Well, I don't like law enforcement.
Oh, no, what I'm saying is I don't trust the Delphi Police Department. I don't trust some of Carroll County. And I believe that ISP and the FBI is trying to correct all the mistakes of the beginning law enforcement that got involved in the first place.
Well, at the beginning, now, I do have this on my channel here. It may be my first video, but I interviewed Toe Blesenby right after the crime. Now, I had asked him concerning like a lot of that. Well, I asked him if he thought that the person was local. And he says, you know what? We really can't say, but we are leaving that in the air because we don't know, but it does look like it could be. Now, at that time, everybody, because this is right after the crime, everybody's looking to sexual offenders that are online, trying to match some face to the name, you know, to the photos.
Toby definitely had to eliminate sex offenders because of his brother.
Yeah, well, easy enough to say, but at the same time, if the guy is a sexual offender, I mean, there it is. But the thing is like when the first year press conference rolled around and I asked Kim Riley concerning, he's like, well, it's like the suspect had just never committed a crime. Well, are you saying that because DNA don't match? Well, I can't talk on that.
It's not you. I swear at times that people are misunderstanding his statement because he sounded like to me that he tried to make an analogy saying it sure looks like this person has never done it before.
Go on with that.
Okay. If I break it down on his wording wise, it definitely does not mean definitively that this person never committed a crime before, but it sure looks like it went that route.
Well, you know what? In a way, it is. I mean, I didn't finish that entirely. But when I said, like, well, are you saying that because DNA don't match in the database? Well, I can't speak on that. However, and he said, maybe he has committed a crime before, but we can find no traces of him. Now, if it was DNA and all they was looking at is DNA, then it would be safe to say, well, you can't say that a person had never committed a crime before because he don't have DNA that matched in a database. Those would be very specific crimes. But to say that the man had never committed a crime before and we can find no traces of him specifies that there's more than DNA. And the only thing that you're going to look at to say that a person had never committed a crime before would be fingerprints. And if those fingerprints come back without being in a database, then it's a clear sign that that man had never been arrested before.
Well, technically speaking, the devil's advocate statement with that, if the person be in the database.
Okay.
Because of
let's
minor
give it that.
privacies.
Let's say he was a minor. But here's the thing. If he was a minor lawbreaker, what would stop him from later in life committing crimes? Not much. It's become a mentality at that age.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you see my point. It does come down criminal behavior. A person can change. It's just like they say. If I'll use myself as an example, since at one time I was a suspect in the Delphi murders, Mike.
I wouldn't call you a suspect. I would call you a person of interest.
How? I got blue eyes. I do not fit the
No,
frame.
no,
Look at my hair. Look at my weight. Look at how I walk. I got 9 people that can say I was right here. I did not drive, nor was I in Delphi.
No.
I know full well I'm not. And that's why I told the investigator. I'm like, dude, for the love of fuck, look at me. Oh, upon looking at me, you should say, I got the wrong address. Well, I agree with you, but, and this is his words, we can't clear you without a DNA sample. So I says, you got a DNA sample, don't you? I got to go make a video. I'll talk at you soon. Well, they still might want your DNA. Fine. If they can go get a judge to sign on to demand my DNA, you go tell them I'll own their fucking ass. Have a good day. Bye. Last I heard of them. Because I'm not that guy. I'm not a monster. I don't fucking like little children. I mean, when I say that, what I mean is like, I'm not attracted to like little girls or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I still like older women to this day.
I'll call innocence unless there is a little junior out there. You and kids, I don't see the future with that, but if it does, congrats if it ever gets to it.
What? What are you talking about?
I don't believe that you have any kids at this point.
Kids?
Yes.
No, I have Wolf. I do have a kid out there in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do have a child out there. They don't know that I'm their father, but I do, and their mom does.
You don't have to go into stories about that.
Well, I'm not. What I'm saying is I got a kid.
Always the guy that didn't have a child and it was just you and Wolf. That's what I have always thought.
Well, no, but that is. I mean, like I said, this girl doesn't know that I'm her father. And there is a reason behind that, but I'm not going into that story.
Yeah, we don't need to go into that.
Well, I wasn't going to. Thank you. So it's not that. The point is I wasn't in Delphi. There's 9 people out here. They know I don't have a car. They know I wasn't in Delphi. My dad knows I wasn't in Delphi. What would I do? Hitchhike out to Delphi and then hitchhike back home and not be arrested for it? Please.
Yeah.
Look at my eyes.
I'll put it in this sense.
Says I don't know what color eyes, but they weren't blue.
Goatee to even be anywhere close to that. Plus your hair's too long.
Yeah, way long. In fact, it was longer then than it was now. So, no, but anyway, having been a suspect is my point. Yeah, let them have it. You're not getting my DNA. What are you going to do with my DNA? Throw it up there where somebody can say, yeah, it's him. And I go like, yeah, I wouldn't know my dog. I wouldn't know my DNA from my dogs, man. I'm just taking their fucking expert testimony.
Good thing they didn't make that change of law at that time period.
They can't get my DNA now. There is no way. No way. It wouldn't matter under a judge's warrant. If they came after me for my DNA, I can say, guess what? I own my DNA. It's right there in my security agreement. I am a secured party. I am a private person, and you will not get my fucking DNA. Not without my signature. And guess what? I'm not signing on. I'm under private law.
Despite how the new law has gotten changed out of it?
No, I am private. I'm a secured party. I'm a private human. I own everything that I have is mine. The state don't own my name, nor does the government. The government doesn't own my land. If I buy a car, I unregister it. I place it in my UCC. I throw private plates on it. I can speed down the highway, no safety belt. I can be drunk as hell. Wouldn't be shit that they could do about it because I have not infracted common law. That is the law I am under, private law. Anybody that has a capitalized name, right there. See, UCC. Uniform Commercial Code, something to look into, man. If you got time, check into it. If you want reading material, reach me on Facebook. I'll send it to you. I think it's a page turner, and I think that you would learn substantial amount.
Well, let's see.
No. Hang on. Hold on. I want to answer this real quick.
Go ahead.
That is not necessarily true, because anything that is in my garbage that contains my DNA, that DNA is mine. That's the difference. It's like if they went after, let's just give a name, Joe Blow, lives down the street, man. He's a child molester. He's a rapist. He's whatever. They can get into his garbage and take it. They own his name. He is a slave. He is a United States citizen. He falls under their jurisdiction. I don't. I am under natural law, God's law. If I don't hurt a person, I don't hurt their property, or I don't steal, I have committed no crime. None. Zero. I could get in my car that I UCC'd with private plates. I could get drunked up, man, and speed down the highway without a license plate. Without a seatbelt on. And you know what? They pull me over. Now, that cop might arrest me, and I could explain to him, hey, this is my vehicle, and I could go through all that route just so that he knows, just so that it was stated. But when I go to court, as soon as I go to court and I tell the judge, no, this is not my name. In fact, I own that name. I have that name copyrighted. I doubly authenticated the birth certificate, filed it on my UCC, notarized, and recorded it locally. That is my name. I even started an LLC in that all capitalized name. Those are two different entities. That all capitalized name is a corporate name. What I go by is my real name, and that's how I'm signed on to the UCC.
It's kind of offshoot from that person wrote.
So,
how does that work if you went to a fast food restaurant and you drank your cup and you decided to throw it away?
I don't understand the question.
I'm saying is, if you went to, say, McDonald's, filled up McDonald's, drank it.
Yep.
You're all done. That means your DNA is on there.
Yeah.
In more ways than none. You throw the cup away.
Yes.
Is that your property?
Yes, it is. But again, okay, you know what? Hang on. Let me help this out just one quick minute, because I will get the security agreement right here.
That's fine.
And I will explain to you that my DNA is my DNA. They can say, well, you threw it away. Well, what I threw away, in this case, it wasn't that I was just going, oh, I don't want it anymore. It belongs to me. And that's the point that I am making. Let me find the security agreement, because, man, I got like all kinds of freaking papers here.
When I think she's more trying to go with is, how did they get around April Tinsley's suspect's case for DNA that was found in the garbage can?
Well, that's different. And here's why. Because, see, John D. Miller has an all capitalized name. He belongs to the state. He is a slave under the United States. What they say goes. When he goes to court, his name is typed out in all capital letters. The first question that they're going to ask him is, this your true and proper name? Yes, sir, it is. Got you. Right there. Just like that. Right here is my UCC. Right here. Right there. You look at that. Universal Commercial Code. Right over here is my letter. This is my announcement. This goes to the Uniform Commercial Code. That is my name. right here at the bottom, you can see secured party creditor. That means that I own that other name. The security agreement is the agreement between me, the human being, with my name spelled correctly, against that all capitalized name. Now, in that all capitalized name,
right now.
that all capitalized name can't do anything. It's just a name. It takes an agent to play that name. Are you with me? Now, I got to be that agent. So I wrote in here, this is what that name does, and this is what I do for that name. Now, anything that belongs to that name belongs to me. It's in my collateral. Everything that that name owns now belongs to the human. Okay? So
how does that work with Social Security?
With Social Security?
Yes, since it's all capitalized.
Easy. Okay, look, I'm not denied any benefit. No benefit. Now, this goes back to HJR 192. This was the reorganization of America. What happened was America filed bankruptcy. But upon filing bankruptcy, they had to reorganize everything, but they left a remedy. They left remedy. Otherwise, everybody would be under the same laws. Now, you have public law and you have private law. Look up the difference because it takes a little while, but when you read through it, you'll see exactly where it is. I'm under contract law. If I make a contract with somebody, I must stick to that. But I'm under common law. I can't go beat the shit out of somebody. I can't go hurt their property. I can't steal. Those are acts like natural law crimes. But codes and statutes, and this is where they get you. You see, they make all these codes and statutes, but they call them laws. Well, it's not the law. In America, law is common law. That was our freedom. That was our freedom. That's God's law. That says I can go do anything that I want. I'm under God. The government isn't my master. In fact, that's why we got a constitution. What's the first words of the Constitution? Tell me.
Okay.
What are they?
I don't know. Tell me.
We, the people. That was our contract to the government, telling them what they can and cannot do. Well, HJR 192 reorganized that. But the thing is they couldn't take away what we had. So basically in that, because they seized the gold, and in the Constitution it says that our debts must be paid by gold or silver, but they took that away. But they had to apply remedy, okay? And that remedy is, and if you look up HJR 192, the government will fulfill the debts of any citizen. However, it's not the capitalized name. When you own that name, now I am holder in due course of that name, all right? So they got to pay, since I did that, they must pay my debts. Now, I send my full form birth certificate to a Secretary of Treasury, have them sign off to it that, yes, this account is made off of my Federal Reserve account, which goes through the Social Security number of which I already own. Now, at that point, on that, if any bill, if somebody said, hey, man, I'll sell you this car for $5 million. Okay, bill me. Okay, here's your bill for $5 million. I can go get my accepted for value stamp that at a 45-degree angle. I can put in my Social Security number, which is how they trace that, my UCC number, my name, and sign off on that. Okay. Now, once that is stamped, I can put that in a registered letter, send that to the Secretary of Treasury, and upon receiving that, usually it takes 3 months, they will make good on that debt. $5 million, here's your $5 million, because that's my money. That money never ends. We are all rich. We all have billions of dollars. It's an endless supply of money. If you go get money for a mortgage, they're giving you your money, but you got to pay it back plus interest. When you get the deed on that property, guess what you're listed as? A tenant. You know why you're a tenant? Because the government owns your property and you got to pay taxes on it. But when I own my property, I don't have to pay taxes. I pay 0 taxes.
How does that work for renting?
For what?
How does that work for renting?
Renting?
Yes.
You know what? I could probably use that for rent. I mean, say as an example, I had my landlord bill me for my rent. I could stamp that. Now, it would take 3 months, but after that 3 months, because I would send that in monthly as quick as I got the bill, they would always get their money back. In fact, they could up my rent. They could up my rent to whatever it is that they wanted to, and I could hit that with it, and it would be paid. Yeah, absolutely. Because it's any and all debts the government is responsible for if you own your name.
Do you think Thomas Bruce has declared sovereign?
No. No, I don't. I really don't. I think that that's a little beyond his mental accord. I don't look, man. I studied America and the history and how everything went to hell for over 20 years. The one thing I did never realize was the remedy. Now, I looked over the remedy, and that goes back like 3 years ago. And I'd seen the UCC, but it carried a lot of weight and a lot of reading, and I didn't have time because I was trying to make motions. Now, I pretty much got off on that crime. They lowered it from a felony to a misdemeanor, no fines, no penalties. You don't owe us one dime, no drug, no alcohol, 6 months supervised probation. Have a good day. So all I had to do is go show up at Howard County Court, which they transferred it to. And the lady says, well, you ain't going to like the rest of what I have to say. And I said, well, I can guarantee you that, but go ahead and say it anyway. Well, drug and alcohol is mandatory in Howard County. I said, well, guess what? That ain't the plea I signed. Well, it's still mandatory. And I said, oh, I'll tell you what, I'll bring the plea in with me next time. Okay, please do. I handed it to her, and she's like, well, we're going to send you over to Christie. And all I had to do is go in once a month. Are you still working? No, I'm disabled. Still living where you have? Yep, for the last 12 years plus. See you next month. Because that's all I had to do. I didn't have to pay a dime on that, but they knew they was out of line. They knew they was completely out of line. In fact, hang on a second, and I'll show you why they was out of line. So as I find it right here, because I got that document, because I already know it. God, man, I got a lot of shit in here. There's my LLC paper.
Your viewers won't be able to see that, by the way.
Do what?
The viewers won't be able to see that. You're really pixelated.
Oh, I'm sure I am. I'm positive. Affidavit of truth. Blah, 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 so, yeah, it's in the other one. So anyway, if I could get that, when I went to court that last time for theft, I never left the premises, nor did I have any intention of stealing. Had I got on a plane with somebody's tablet, man, my ass would have been arrested as soon as I got off in LA. Make no mistake. I knew that. I ain't stupid. I wasn't trying to steal it. I was trying to return it to a lady that was ahead of me at TSA. I figured she was coming back because it was carry-on. I made it to my gate. I sat down. I had to call the producer of the show and say, dude, I missed the flight. I got to catch the next one out. I'll be 3 hours late. Here comes security. Hey, could you grab your stuff and follow and come with us? I said, hey, this right here. And I called it a tablet, but it was really a small laptop. It was an Apple. And I said, that isn't mine. Who does it belong to? The lady that was in front of me at TSA. Well, they arrested me for theft. And I said, bullshit. I never left this place. Well, best thing you can do is be silent. Fuck you. I'm on my way to Hollywood, man. Like, you can eat my ass. And I was really pissed off. I went in there and let them have it about it. And you know what? They lowered it. They lowered that, but I can tell you exactly why. This is, you know what? I'm still going to get it. Hang on a second. Just let me get this paper, man.
Go ahead. I've seen enough on it. Just so you know.
Right here. Look at the name. And get it up there where you can see it. Right there. State of Indiana, all capitalized, versus Michael Stroop. Do you see that? Do you see how my name is not all capitalized?
Yeah.
They took a real human being, not a corporation, before statutory jurisdiction. I could have had them at word go. I could have said, you can't bring a human being in here and try them on statutory jurisdiction. I demand that this case be dismissed. And you know what? It would have been. But I wasn't that far advanced in it at the time. When I told Icons about it, he said, you can sue them for that. I said, I ain't worried about a few $100s. But what I am going to do is have that recorded, because that is my name. And they cannot take a human being to court on criminal charges unless it's under common law. That's why your name is always capitalized. Always. Because you're a corporation. You're under a state corporation, which is under a United States of America corporation. It's all corporate. That's what it comes down. Corporate law. Now, when you are no longer a corporation and you walk in as a human, they can have nothing to do with you. Period. They say, we'd like to dismiss this case. Because all I got to do is question authority, say this is my UCC number, I'm a secured party creditor over that, it is copyrighted. You know, I can go through the whole damn nine. These are two separate entities. This is a trade name, this is my real name.
I'd love to talk longer, but my phone's about to go out.
Oh, you sound fine.
I can still hear you and everything on it, but my phone's about to go out, so.
Ah.
All right. Talking with you, Mike.
All right, man. It's good talking with you, dude. You have a good evening.
Bye-bye.
Stay healthy. Well, that was Michael Cunningham. If there was another person calling, give it a call now. I'm up, and I'm up late. Woof, I'll take you out in a bit. Maintain, pal. But anyway, that is the lowdown. There are things that they can and cannot do. There are public people, and there are private people. And if, you know what? Let me go find that real quick. Let me see. That's off the stream. Let me pull this up for you, because I think that you guys will get a serious kick out of this. Because it's very enlightening. Like, very enlightening. But it explains a lot about what I'm talking about. Thing is Jordan Maxwell is one hell of an explainer. Me? I hand out information, but I'm no Jordan Maxwell. Right here. I'm going to pull it up and kind of.
Yes.
All right, hang tight a second. This is relatively quick video. Maintain for a moment and see if you can see this.
See, there are two kinds of law. This is a subject I've been talking about this for years. There are two kinds of law on the earth that rule the whole world, but most people don't know that. All over the world, all governments are ruled by what is called civil law. Civil law goes back to a Latin word, civility, which goes back to the word illy. Oh God, I mean, go on for hours on this stuff. Civil law, which is called in all countries the law of the land. So you say, well, you can't do that because it's against the law of the land. The law of the land is civil law, Roman civil law, the law of the land. But there is a second law which also operates all over the earth identical. It's called UCC, Uniform Commercial Code. That is the law of God in the world of business. I don't care if you're in Japan, in Africa, in China, in Istanbul, Turkey. If you have a company, if you have a corporation, if you are doing business where you buy and sell and make money, you are operating on this earth under something called UCC, Uniform Commercial Code. Because if all countries work on a different commercial code, then nobody can do business with anybody. You couldn't trust Japan to pay you. Japan couldn't trust America to pay them for the cars because everybody has their own laws. Under the Caesars of Rome, they established under Caesar that all nations in the empire that do business, everybody plays on a level field. If you do business in Africa with China, you pay them. And if Africa does business with American companies, you pay them. You pay whatever it is you're doing business. You don't mess around. The most severe law in this world is called UCC, Uniform Commercial Code. It's the Bible of business on the earth. Uniform Commercial Code. Uniform Commercial Code is based directly on Vatican canon law, on the Roman canon law. Consequently, when a ship pulls into port, it pulls in and stops, and it's called in its berth. The ship is now in its berth. Because it is on the law of the high seas, or commercial maritime, UCC commercial law rules the seas. So when the ship pulls into its berth, the first thing the captain must do is to present a certificate of manifest to the port authorities, which means that the port authorities need to know how much is on this ship that you're bringing into our country and our economy. How many TVs, how many cars, what are you bringing, how much are you bringing into our economy? So you have to have a certificate of manifest of what is the value of your ship here, what are you doing? Consequently, when you are born, you come out of your mother's water. Therefore, you must have a birth certificate, a certificate of manifest, because you are a corporation-owned item. You are a human resource. This goes back to the German Nazi concept that every human coming out of their mother's water must be birthed. And therefore you have to have a certificate of manifest to see how much this individual is going to make for us in our new world order. I'm telling you that until you understand the laws, the symbols, the emblems, what these words mean, you're never going to suspect how far gone we really are. Did you know, for instance, that your birth certificate is a security on the stock exchange in the New York stock market? Did you know that? Because if you order your birth certificate, get a new one, order your birth certificate, only costs you, sometimes it's free. It'll only cost you a few dollars. Order your birth certificate. On your birth certificate, all birth certificates in this country, on the bottom, it will tell you this is printed on security papers. Do not accept it, not on full color security paper. Then on the right-hand corner, you will always have a series of numbers, red numbers, printed on the birth certificate. Those numbers are a security stock exchange number on the World Stock Exchange. You go to any good stock office and ask them, check these numbers in your computer and see how much your stock is worth, the certificate. And they will check it on the New York Stock Exchange and find your birth certificate is a stock on the stock exchange in America. Why? Because you are worth money to the international bank that bought you in 1930. We need to wake up. This is serious stuff.
Now then, people may be wondering, well, what do? I own my birth certificate now. It is worth more money than there is. I mean, I could put like a price on it, which I did, of $150 million. But if I exceeded $150 million in debt, it just keeps going. It's like having a bank account with $1 million in it. Okay. And I say, well, I'm going to set it at $100,000. Well, I can still spend up to $1 million. The money is endless because once you own that security, then you have to mark that security as to what it's worth. Now, that's why I have an accepted for value stamp. If somebody gives me a bill for $5 billion or $5 million, I can stamp that. I can mark everything on it, send it to a treasury. It's erased. It is erased. It's an HJR 192. When they took away the gold and then they took away the silver, they had to give remedy. That remedy is if you own your name, they will supply right there in HJR 192. They will secure your every debt because they have to. That is the law. Does anybody see where I'm coming from? I mean, because there's a lot of people out there, man. 37 currently. My popularity really waned when I started the video. But I wanted people to know that's exactly what it is, man. That's what it amounts to. They owe us because they took away what was ours. Now, America isn't under bankruptcy anymore. Now we're the United States of America. We're under a corporation. Our presidents are corporate presidents. They are not our leaders. The representatives, man. Representatives are not our leaders. So, yeah. You know, once you own your name, you can assign an amount to that birth certificate. You can send that there, create that account, accept for value, write out all your information, your UCC, your social security number, and your name, sign that off, and send that in. And then it's also got to have the amount that you owe and to whom, and they will dismiss that bill immediately. It takes about 3 months. You send that, you know when they get it, and then they will call you and say, oh, that's been extinguished. So the vehicle's yours, that $5 million vehicle. So that's why it's important to know that. Now, when I explain this to people, people get very lost because people think that, no, we're all under the same law. No, you're under the same law. You're a slave. You want your Second Amendment rights. They were done away with in 1933. That's why you got to have a carry permit. That's why you have to have a concealed carry permit. Not me. If I own that handgun, I'll carry it anywhere I damn well please. If they take me to court for it, the court will say, we're sorry, we'd like to dismiss this. We realized we held you in a cement pad for 3 days. We're willing to give you restitution that will be paid by the end of the day. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. Because I own my name. I own my DNA. I own my RNA. I own my mitochondrial DNA. And for anybody else to possess that, by whatever means, they must have my written permission. They can't take it out of the garbage and say, oh, you threw away what belonged to you. No, it still belonged to me. That's the lowdown. I am not a capitalized name any longer. I am Michael Stroop. Michael Leroy Stroop. My mom named me the Royal. Guess that was a good on her. She never did lie. Oh, Finland. Hey, man. It's good to see you here, man. Finland. You know what, man? I had friends that was Finnish, man, up in Michigan, man. Good people. I like Finland, man. The Flying Finns. Man, I appreciate you being here tonight, dude. I really do. You know, I figured if I started late, man, I would probably run into more people from overseas. I like people from overseas watching. And I sincerely appreciate it, man. Thanks. Well, you know what we was doing was I started as a midnight ramble because I was up late, watched the Super Bowl, and I thought, man, I'm just kicking it anyway. I ain't doing much of shit. So I decided I would 8:30 in the morning there. Holy crap. Man, we still got like 7 hours, man. You're 7 hours ahead of us. But anyway, in Scotland, holy shit, man. Hey, any UK people here? Man, you guys, man, right on. You know what? I'm going to have to start doing more midnight shows. Just to ramble. Just to say shit, man. Just throw stuff out to the world. I get a kick out of explaining things to people. Yeah, Emily, yes, it is. And you know what? I want to explain this to you. Here's the lowdown, Emily. Every person in the United States is under the same. And that's what Jordan Maxwell was talking about. You have public law. If I go to North Korea, guess what? I'm under North Korean law. However, I am sovereign under the UCC. I am a private person. Now, if I went to North Korea and I broke one of their laws, one of their public laws, they couldn't hold me on that. They would dismiss that. Now, they may not want me to do it again and may exile me out of the country, but they could not keep me in prison for that. And that's what I'm getting at right there, because the UCC is worldwide. You know, we was one of the last countries to accept it, and the last state to accept it was Louisiana. And I think that was because they was parishes, man, French law, woo like that. But at the same time, they was the last person to accept the UCC. But every state has the UCC. Now, if you want to know where to look and find this, you know what? I can probably, hang on a second, man. Let me get the link real quick. Let me get down here to Redemption Manual. Man, probably passed it. Hang on. Because anybody that wants to learn this, anyone, this is where you begin. And it took me a couple months to actually find this book. Maybe. There it is. And I will place this link right down there. Hang on a second. Anybody that wants to know anything about this, right here it is. Please copy and paste that link. All of it. Pull it up and download it. It's a 700-page manual. And when I say that, man, people freak the F out and they're like, 700 pages? My God, I'd rather take a bullet to the wang. It's a page turner because, like, right off the go, man, it isn't like you're sitting there like reading a legal pad. They really explain it to the nth degree, man. And it's like every page, man, you want to know what's next, man. What happened? It explains the history of America, how we were screwed, how they really nailed us with the Great Depression, how they finally said, look, man, you're in bankruptcy. Then, you know, Roosevelt comes out with House Joint Resolution 192, pretty much reorganizes America, but they left the remedy. And the remedy is the UCC. That is exactly it. That's what makes you a private person. At that time, you fall under private law, not public law. They can't hit me with the code or statute. Please do. Please do, because it does apply. And in England, Finland, every nation on earth has the UCC. And it all works parallel, identically parallel. You read through that, it will give you the manual. It will give you the forms. You can go through, man, you can figure it out. It'll take a little bit of doing. And actually, before I did that, when I got the manual, it took me 3 months. 3 months to fact check everything in there to make sure I wasn't getting screwed. When I finally concluded that, hey, this is real, man. This is the real deal. That's when I began the paperwork. I got everything filled out, man. I copyrighted my name, got power of attorney, hold harmless and indemnity. Let's see what else. The security agreement between the names. And then there was the secondary to the security agreement, which says that I can go back and change anything within the security agreement at any time that I want. Got all that notarized, recorded, and it's all placed right in my UCC, including my birth certificate. So when I go in, I tell them, no, I'm a secured party over that name. This is my UCC number. Yes, we'd like to dismiss this right away. Have a nice day. We're going to give you $400 in recourse. Bye. And that's all it amounts to. Yes, I did. I fully copyrighted my name. In fact, right here and here, I got my name fully copyrighted again. I mean, God, this is one big ass folder. But somewhere right over in here, I do have the copyright. Put those up there. God, I need all these out, man, and singularly. Affidavit of truth. Is everything over here? Security agreement. Security agreement. But I actually got a common law copyright on my name. Whereas if anybody uses my name, if it's in the paper and I've been arrested, I can sue them for that at 10,000 pieces of silver per infraction. Schedule A, power of attorney. God, it is all on this side. Hold harmless and indemnity. Should not be that hard, man. I need paper clips. It's got to be right here. Schedule A. I would hate to think that somebody came in and stole my copyright. I got it recorded, but still. Oh, that's right. That's exactly right. That's birth certificate. Ain't nose. Ah, yes. My bad. Here it is. This is, as recorded, my common law copyright upon my name. Right there is the recording number, right here. And right here in the far back is the notary. Signed and dated. Right there. Bam. And I have copyright over the full of my name and every variation thereof. So if they want to use my name in any way, they must get me to sign on to that name. They must get me to say, no, we can use this. And I'll go, no, you can't. Because I'm a private human being. You cannot use my name. Now, if you live in another country, read that book, The Redemption Manual. That Redemption Manual explains everything fully, 100%. Now, it's entry level because when you get through with that, you'll say, okay, I have an understanding. But there's a lot more that you can look into because it is as deep as it is wide. Now, just like Icons, man. Icons goes to court, man, with a whole briefcase full of papers, okay? And what happens? When he walks in, the judge looks at him and says, yeah, we're dismissing this case. Now, he did 3 days, man, for contempt of court because he wouldn't shut up after the fact. He wanted to argue his case. They hit him with that, and he did 6 days for that because that is a common law violation. When you contempt court, there it is. But they had already dismissed. I mean, he didn't have anything to go on, you know? He was just like, okay, but you know what? I had all this, and I wanted to say that, and blah, blah, blah. If you open your mouth again, man, you're going to get contempt. Well, Your Honor, I mean, what I did, okay, contempt. 3 days, man, and I'm sure he was cussing on his way to jail. But 3 days, man, 3 days ain't much crap. I mean, believe me, man, I did 6 months, man, twice, and the year do 6 once. Yeah, hey, man, if you want to call in, call in. Here's the number. In fact, we'd love to talk to somebody, man. I'm a little bored. I don't mind talking, but as long as I ain't repeating myself. There it is. Good job, Devil Lance. You're the best. So it does run like that. In fact, if you're in North Korea, you're in China, you're in Yugoslavia, no matter where you are in the world, you can go to your UCC, read that manual, fill everything out appropriately, file it, bam, you're a private person. You are a secured party over that name. That's the difference. I'm owner of that name. I copyrighted that name. It belongs to me. I started an LLC in that all capitalized name. They are two different names. The all capitalized name, that's a corporate name. It's a trade name. It's the one that I have copyrighted. Now, on the flip side of that, that's not my name. My name is capital M, rest all lowercase, capital L, lowercase e, capital R, lowercase ROY, capital S, lowercase STROUP. That's a human name. That's what I go to court as. I am not this name. And I would like to call in to question your jurisdiction. Well, this is statutory jurisdiction. Thank you, my honor. Well, I'm not under statutory jurisdiction as I have filed this on my UCC. That number is this. They look that up. They see my birth certificate and they say, we're sorry. We'd like to dismiss this at this time. Please have a nice day. Here's $300 in recourse. Why do they do that? Because they already know that I know the lie, and they know that my next questions coming out of my mouth is going to have them admitting the lie. They will never do that. They will dismiss every single time out. So please do that. And I do, man. I mean, I beg every human to do that. Every human. Because that is what we are, man. We are born free. We are sovereign people when we're born. Sovereign. No one is above us, above God. We have our parents that have to care for us, but when we're born, we are free. What changes that is because when you're born, your birth certificate is sent to the Vital Statistics Office of your state, which is sent to a secretary of your state, which is sent to a secretary of treasury of this nation, which is then sent to the Federal Reserve, where it's held in the warehouse. Because in 1933, HRJ 192 basically gave our credit and our work as like the interest paid upon the debt. And that's where it goes. Just like in the Matrix, okay? When Morpheus looked at Neo and he said, you're a slave, Neo. You was born a slave. You see it all around you, but you just can't see it. But it's there. It's because everything is. You are a corporation, no different than McDonald's. United States of America is a corporation, no different than McDonald's. Well, McDonald's can't tell me what to do with my life. Neither can the government. But they can if they own your name. If they own your name, you fall directly under their jurisdiction. It don't matter what they say. I had a friend, man, talking about Virginia and the guns, and I'm like, they can do that. How? Because they own those people. Those people are slaves. They got to do what they're told. Me, on the other hand, I could walk down there with the gun like right near, man, concealed. Ain't shit they can do about it. I might get arrested, but as soon as I hit court, I'm getting money as I walk out there when it's dismissed. There it is. Oh, man, you know what? Total agreement, man, in a big way. Yeah, when I was over in Germany, man, I was really big on Bitburger. I loved that. It took me a couple weeks to get used to it. Loved it, though, man. It was some good beer. In fact, I don't drink anything anymore, nor could I, but I do miss good beer. I was a connoisseur of beer. I loved my beer. Yeah, exactly, Amelia. Now, you know what? It goes beyond that, because anything that I could say here and just discuss, it goes much deeper and wider than that. If you read that manual, it's 700 pages, but I can guarantee you a lot of it isn't really so much reading. It's like the forums. You don't have to read them. You can look them over. But when you get to the end of it, you'll go, wow, I didn't think it was like that bad. We really are born to be slaves, nothing more. That is it. How much money can they make off of my work? Well, what happened was we traded freedom for benefits. Understand that. We had freedom, but then they started handing out the benefits. You know, then it was like, well, now we can tax your income. Constitution says you can't. No, we can. We did that. No, you didn't. You didn't ratify it through the states. That was Wesley Snipes, man, when he went to court on his taxes. They never ratified that, and it is no good. Yeah, it is. You know why? Because they owned his name. Sent him to prison. They can't do that to me. You see where I'm at? They can't do that to me. I'm out of taxes. I have no taxes to pay. If I buy a property, man, I buy that property. I don't buy it through a mortgage. You know, they cannot take what is mine away. If I own my car, I unregister it. I file it with the UCC. I put private plates on it. I get a bond because if I go hurt somebody, I don't want that on me. I don't want to be held like that. You know, I don't want to say, hey, screw you. Look, man, I hurt a person. You know, I got to pay for that. That's what the bond's for. I cover my ass. That is what it's about. But the simple thing is when you're free, when you're a private person, you feel the relief. You know that you're no longer held under those. If I'm driving without my seatbelt in my car, so be it. I'm in my car. If a cop pulled me over and said, what's these license plate? This is my vehicle. Well, what do you mean? I mean, I own it. It belongs to me through my UCC. Here's my UCC number. I'm a secured party creditor. It belongs to me. If they go run that, they'll go, have a good day. Because they wouldn't know what to say. You know, they would say, okay, that is his vehicle. If you go buy a vehicle, no matter what you pay for it, when you register it with the state, that's the state's vehicle. If they say you got to drive 55, you got to drive 55. There it is. They say you got to have a seatbelt on, you better have a seatbelt on. They can get you for that. Me, if it's my vehicle, they can't touch my vehicle. I could be slopping drunk. And you know what? It don't apply. Because a person can be drunk in America if they own their name. I can be drunk and just marching down the road. They can't say shit. They could arrest me. The cop could because he don't know. But when I hit court, they're going to hand me a handful of money on my way out the door when they dismiss. It is that simple. It really is. It takes a little bit of learning, man. And look, man, I got friends that I call millennial. Rightfully, in most cases. However, the simple fact is that millennials do not read. They don't care. They think that they know more than everybody else. When in reality, they don't even really read. They don't look shit up. But if you look shit up, if you can read that manual. And you know what? You'll be right there with me. And in a little bit of no time, man, because I can tell you I fact checked it all, you'll be right there. Right exactly there. You will be under private law identically as me, no matter where you live. It does not matter where you live. You could live in the harshest nation in the world, and I can't think of one worse than America, because we got the most laws against all of our people than any other nation on earth. And you're free of that. There is no codes or statutes that they can hold you on. You are only held under common law. If you don't go hurt somebody or their property or steal, you have committed no crime. And if they take you to court on that, they'll say, yeah, you committed no crime. We apologize. And we're giving you recourse for this. Have a nice day. Because that is how it is. In fact, go Google common law or public law versus private law, and you'll see exactly what I mean. I'm not under the same laws as everybody else. I'm under completely different laws. No, not at all. I do not lose disability because, see, I still have that capitalized name, and I can use that capitalized name. It's in my security agreement. Anytime that I want to use it because I got to copyright it, I can use that. If I wanted to, I could go get food stamps. I'll put it to you like that. I don't, but I could. I could go sign up for any benefit. There isn't anything that they can say about it, man. No, right. No, they cannot. That's what I'm explaining to her. You know, if I'm on disability and I'm private, but disability right here is not really a benefit. We have to pay into that. Now, some people will say, well, it is a benefit. No, not when you got to pay in for it. When you have to pay into something, that's not a benefit. That's getting my money back. Nancy, let me put that up there real quick. I filed my UCC in July of 2019. That's when I filed it. Now, I found out about that about 3 years prior to. I heard Icon speak at the UCC, and I paused the video immediately because I remembered that was something I was going to look into. And I thought, okay, this guy thinks like me, so I better go look into the UCC. Now, upon looking at that, because he didn't explain it any further than that, but he explained that that's where it came from. So now I spent like 2 months digging through that, not even knowing what all I was looking for. You know, and I started putting a lot of pieces together. I came across the redemption manual, read that. It really opened my eyes out. But then it gave me a lot of keywords to start looking into. Because when you read the redemption manual, it says it's entry level, but it gives you everything that you want. Because after that, when you start looking into separate ideas, you'll see that it is. It's like every law that we have in this nation, in every nation, can be bypassed, completely bypassed, right down to common law, if you're a private person. It takes a little bit of time, not much money. In fact, I spent less than $100 to get where I am. And it was $100, the greatest $100 that I have ever spent. Oh man, dude, I'm sorry to hear that. You know what, Devil? And I mean, and I don't say this in any harsh way, but I mean, I've seen a dog with one eye, and they are kind of cute. I mean, not because they have one eye, but it just gives that, you know, it's just one of those things. But a one-eyed cat, you know, yeah, he'll live a good life. And he might look actually a little bit cute, man. It's just like Wolf, man. He scratched that ear and he got a hematoma in it, and then it folded down, And now it always looks like he's questioning everything, you know, with like one ear down. Yeah, it's not something that I wanted, but a pigment disorder, and they got to take the eye out. Huh. Yeah. And you know what? I think once they take it out, man, she should be fine. Or I don't think that they would take it out just to, you know, if they didn't think it would do any good. Wow, man. I have been midnight rambling for 2 hours. Look at me go. I will be back Tuesday, man. Like I said, Delphi Justice will be with me. I don't know if you guys know her, man, but she's a really great lady. I mean, I've met her a few times, just sweet as all get out. And I thought it would be cool to have her on the show because she really is somebody that you can sit and talk to. And I think that there should be quite a bit that people can learn from her. Okay, the phone number's up there. If I do not get a call within the next 5 minutes, that will be 207. I'm calling it quits. But if anybody wants to call just to chit chat, maybe make a 2 a.m. ramble, I don't care. You know what? Talk about Mahomes or whatever his name is. I talked about him. I talked pretty harsh about him. He might be a decent quarterback, but look, we lost Andrew Luck. You know, when we're getting an elite quarterback again, it won't be this decade. Guarantee you that. So goes the Colts. Yeah, you know what? I agree, Amelia. I mean, it is. And if Wolf lost an eye, and I've seen dogs with one eye, it's cute, but it's sad at the same time. Yeah, there isn't a lot out there, Mark. And it's probably going to be another year before anything big is released. I could be wrong on that because as I say that, you know, I know how law enforcement don't want me to be correct, so they might throw something out there. Because, look, man, law enforcement does watch my videos. That shit came right out of Holman's mouth. But the fact is, why would they watch my videos? Do they watch everybody's videos? No, they don't. Now, Tobe watches Greenos, but I mean, like, you know, Tobe hands out some falseful information. And, hey, we watch your videos, pal. No, you keep up your good work, man. What if TB isn't the killer? You know what? Let me touch upon that. Real quick. What if TB is not the killer? All right. Well, let me begin like so. I have put in over a year of investigation. I have covered the circumstances of the Delphi case, the criteria of the Delphi case. I've went over the profiling of the case in Evansdale. I have showed the fact that he lost 2 jobs 1 month before each set of murders. In June of 2012, the following month, Evansdale. In July of 2017, he filed bankruptcy, resigned from his job. 1 month later, Delphi murders. It fits his MO. It's en route to his brother's house and his family's house in Michigan. Now, it don't really end there. There's the walk, the talk. It's everything combined. And when you look at that, at criminal behavior and his MO, yes, then I do believe absolutely that it is. So much so that I said $100,000 left arm, and you know what? I'll come out and have you hack it off if you got the $100,000. But I got to see evidence that that $100,000 is set back and readily payable to me via a legal contract. That legal contract will give me that $100,000, or you can do whatever you want with my arm. I don't care. It ain't mine anymore. But that's how positive I am that he is the Delphi killer. Now, what if he isn't the killer? Well, Ladies and gentlemen, this ex-military policeman that took 2 years of military investigation and has looked over crime and science his whole life had one pulled over on him in a very, very, very big way. Well, you see, now I ain't got my lighter on me, but my lighter states it correct. Michael J. Cat, generally correct. When I say it's 100%, guess what? You're looking at it. So I can't really go on. What if it isn't him? What, do you think it's somebody from Delphi? Do you? Because if so, man, that's more Facebook, man. That's more Facebook. It really is, man. Well, thank you very much, Mark Ray. I appreciate that. But at the same time, while I do believe that what I am handy now is the God's honest, and when I don't feel that it is the God's honest, I do give it as speculation or conjecture. There is some speculation, but it's based on some good educated evidence. Okay. Now there is conjecture where I feel that it could be, maybe, when you're looking at Evansdale and Delphi, two things fit. At least, and probably all four of those girls were virgin. And then you're looking at a virgin sacrifice on the 13th, on a reverse date. Now, you're talking about a pastor. Now, what's the opposite of a pastor? You see where I'm at? Then you're talking a dark side. When you look up, why would somebody commit a virgin sacrifice? It's to appease a deity. Well, he was going through financial times. Now, if I go... Hold on a minute. Hello. Hey. Did what?
You still on there?
Yes.
Do you know if any other states have holds on TV right
No.
now?
In fact, nobody does.
So right now, the only state that's got any grip on him is Missouri.
Exactly. But that's for a reason.
Yeah.
Because because look, they can't investigate him until they can go talk to him. After October of this year, all of them will go talk to him. In fact, the FBI will probably send their interrogation team down. So I think that what they want to do is all the ones that they can tie him to, I think that they want him to admit to verbally and written, and maybe try to get to without getting the death penalty. And I think that that's what scares him right there.
Well, I'd say his hand is puckering right now, too.
The what?
I'd say his hand is puckering right now. You know, scared to death. I bet he's terrified. He knows that chair is a looming.
Well, it is in Indiana and California. But those are the only two states right now that I know that he's did anything that hold the death penalty. Now, in California, he's probably got more than one. California, man, that being his first ones would probably be the first to get him. And they could shoot for the death penalty. In fact, if they got enough on him, they could go ahead with the death penalty. But we still got to get him back to Indiana. They still got to get him in Illinois. I called in Mary Pryor. Somebody had already called in Ann Pates on him. And I thought, yeah, that's somebody from his hometown that knew the time he left that bar, knew his direction. And then the lady came up missing. I think that he was probably always held in their mind as a person of interest in that.
Well, hell, he goes to California, and that's don't tell him what they'll do out there in that damn state.
Yeah. But, you know, I think in the end, because now the other day I was watching a documentary on Ted Bundy again. But you know that he had over 38 women that he had murdered. And he only got charged with 3 of them. 3 out of 38. Now, I take this back to Larry Hall. 58 women that he is a person of interest in their rape and murder. What did he get hit with? Kidnapping and crossing state lines, and he's doing life without parole in Marion, Ohio, or Illinois. And he will not talk about it anymore because he don't have to. He don't have to. So, man, if you ain't got a body and you ain't got anything to go on, go F yourself. I ain't talking about shit. I know damn well he's probably the one that was behind the Denise Flume case. I'd lay money to it.
The railway killer, I'm thinking he only got charged with those people that he killed in Texas.
Who?
The railway killer, the guy that was using the railroad to travel up and down to murder people along railroad tracks.
You know what? At that exact time, I left Oklahoma on where I hopped a train getting back to Indiana, and my mom didn't hear from me for days, and she goes, "We thought you might have been killed by the railroad killer." I'm like, who?
You don't know how damn lucky you are, brother.
Why? There's a billion trains.
Same damn train, man.
Dude, in every train, any freight train you see, there's a man on the train car. At least one. That's how people get around, man. It's free and easy. And I did it for years.
Well, that guy was a freaking maniac, man.
There he was. You know what? That was right about the same time as Andrew Cunanan, if you remember that name.
Yeah. Well, I was just a teenager then, but I remember all that. I remember our grandmother, you know, when Atlanta child killings was going on, and then the deal with that railway killer happened.
Yeah.
I lived right beside railroad tracks. And man, my grandmother had her uncles, you know, would run shifts, staying up for the night until they caught that guy.
Man.
Yeah, because you remember he was in Kentucky and Indiana.
Yeah.
And he killed some people in Kentucky.
Yep, I do. Because I was on my way back to Indiana. I actually made it up to, I got on a train in Enid, Oklahoma, which was northbound. Okay. Yeah. Now, at some point through that night, they had stopped, turned back around, and I ended up in Dallas, Fort Worth.
Oh, man, Texas.
So I get out, and I asked the conductor, man, I was like, where are we at? It's Dallas. Oh, shit. I'm like, all right, shit, man. I'm like, went completely the wrong direction. So I go down through there asking him, man, watching for bulls. You don't want any, you know, trained security people getting you, man, because they're fucking hard ass. So hang on a second. Let me throw this up real quick. That's my email. So I get out and I asked the train conductors where they're headed. Now, the one told me that he was heading to Chicago. So I said, would it be okay to hop in the second engine? He's like, yeah, you can. He goes, but if you're caught by security, we didn't have a clue of it. No problem. So I got in the second engine, took that all the way up to Chicago. Now I get out of Chicago the following morning. All right. It's relatively early. I get out, I'm walking down the tracks, man, right there at the, you know, freight train station. And then there's a whole case of Guinness, man, sitting right there on this car. So I'm like, oh, fuck. All right, man, I'm going to drink me some Guinness. I was drinking at the time. So I filled my duffel bag with a bunch of it, man, was slamming a few down. So I get out and I'm looking around. Now, here comes a bull because I'm like right there by where their property is. So I step out to his side. He comes over, giving me hell. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, look, dude, I got to get down to Kokomo, Indiana. Where is 69 or 65? He's like, dude, you got to head east from here. Now, I didn't even know how far away I was from that area. So I like, you know, I load up my duffel bag, man. I go huffing down through the projects, man. I got some looks, man. Like, dude, you know what? Don't be here after dark, pal. So I just kept going, not making eye contact, man. Got back out there, man. And it was a long hike. I think it was about a 4-hour hike from where I was to make it out 269. Finally made it there. It was a long ass journey, but I made it back. But then when I got back, and that's when Mom was telling me that the railroad killer was out there. You're very welcome, Amelia, and please read that book, man. Please.
Hey, what was the name of that movie that Ernest Borgnine played the bull?
Oh, shit.
He stuck their damn heads in that movie, too. It was a train hobo movie, and I cannot remember the name of it.
Sounds like a good movie.
It had, if I'm not mistaken, Lee Marvin was in it.
Yeah, Lee Marvin, man. Ernest Borgnine, man. That's like an early 70s, late 60s movie.
Yeah, I cannot remember the name of it. There was this young boy that wanted to, learn how to be to do the hobo thing, and learn how to ride the rails.
Yeah. And
the older gentleman, I think, with Lee Marvin, kind of took him under his wing and was teaching him, the rules of of traveling the train, And that damn character, Ernest Borgnine, if he caught him, he had this big old thing. He would thump him in the damn head and roll him off that train as it was rolling down through there.
Yeah.
But
well, you got the TDA or the FTA, Freight Train Riders of America.
Yeah.
And that was a game, man. And I mean, like part of their game was got off someone, man, or you ain't in. And it's just like, man, why in the fuck would somebody want to do that? Why would you want to go kill somebody, man, to be in some damn game?
Damn, that's nuts.
Isn't it? It's like, yeah, not me. I got a K-bar, though. If anybody wants to play, man, let's go.
Getting back to, TB and everything, do you honestly think that, as much as he traveled up and down through there, Mike, to his brothers, that there's a possibility that maybe he had got a motel or something like that in that vicinity?
No, because I'll tell you what, I think that Greeno's, now if that holds any truth to it, and I do not know that to be fact, but he got a hold of his wife, asked her a bunch of questions, and then she said, well, I can't really answer on any of those. But what I can say is on the 13th of that year, we had a dinner date. Remembering back 2.5 years, okay? Well, we had a dinner date that night. Well, if he left here at 3 and he's heading back into Central Time where he loses 1 hour on his watch, well, it's a 4.5-hour drive, which would have got him home by 6 to 6:30 that evening. He wouldn't have been missed for a dinner date.
No.
Yeah, I mean, you see where I'm at? But I think that he left St. Louis when she went to work, headed there because it was a safe place, waited, committed the crime, and headed home. Now, at first, I assumed that he was en route to his brother's, but that's what gave me the conclusion that he had been by there. He had been to those trails many times.
He knew the area.
Yeah.
Well, all right, man, I wanted to ask you about that. And if you get a chance, man, check out that those aerial views. See if you can't find that shed I was telling you about. I know it probably don't have anything to do with the case, but my question was is that the law would check you out or anything,
Well, I wouldn't really know. I mean, they didn't come out with anything they investigated on. I mean, there was the house that they searched, Maxwell's. They also searched Ronald Logan's, but that's as far as it went. Now, I can tell you why they searched Ronald Logan's, and it was because some of the lies that he had told, but he was doing that rightfully. I mean, for him, he didn't want them to know he was driving. He didn't want them to know where he was at. I mean, he's a guy that was like on probation for a DUI. Well, there was things he couldn't do, and he knew he did them. So he sat there and admit to it, and he's just opened himself up for violation. Well, when he said tropical fish, and then he told somebody something else, and the FBI shows up and says, well, that ain't what you told us. That's when they started looking over his records. That's when they got the calls. That's when they found out, and they did violate him. But because he had lied in a high-profile case like that, they thought he might have had something to do with it. That's why they searched his house, took his truck, took him to court, sent him to prison. That's why, That was the whole thing about it, man. He was a victim of circumstance, nothing more. And I felt bad for the guy, real bad. If I ever met Ronald Logan, man, and I have, but I mean, it was under different circumstances. I'd shake the guy's hand, man. I'd say, dude, man, I felt so bad for you. I mean, anybody could have looked at those photos and said, yeah, it's not a 77-year-old man.
They railroaded that old cat, man.
I will read that. Amelia, I will read that. Thank you for sending it to me. Appreciate it.
There was something else. Shit. Oh, yeah, you got my email I sent you, didn't you?
Yes, I should. I'm positive. If you sent me an email, it's on there.
The guy the one that I sent you about the guy in Missouri?
Exactly. Yes, I did. I did get that and look it over.
That's a hell of a case, ain't it?
It is.
I mean, I was when I first read it, I was like, my God, our country has come to this.
Our country came to that in 1933. But you know what? It's only exacerbated since. It's only gotten worse. And it's gotten to such a degree, I don't know how people that call themselves United States citizens who are fully slaves, I don't know how they can look at our country and go, yeah, but we're free. We're really free here. No, you're a slave. The only thing they depend upon is you working, collecting the benefits, and paying off the interest on the Federal Reserve. That's your whole reason. Nothing more. And when they own your name, you're under them. Period. You're their slave. Nothing else matters. What they say goes. If Virginia says, we're going to outlaw guns, guns are outlawed. But you know what? That only goes for people with capitalized names. Me, I'm a private person. I got every right to defend myself. Want to take that to court? I'll talk to a judge. Because that judge is going to say, we're sorry, Mr. Stroop. Have a nice day. We'd like to dismiss. Here's some money. Bye. Because that's how it works.
What's sickening on that case is they got that damn audio, right? And it proves the man innocent. And they still wouldn't even, they wouldn't even admit it. It's just sickening, man. Just sickening.
But,
it goes showing you how fast someone can get hung up and not even realize. People just do not realize how quick it can happen.
It can happen immediately. And again, man, it does come down like this. When you were born, you are free. You are free at your birth until unknowing, make no mistake about this, unknowingly, your parents sign you over. On your birth certificate, what is your mom's last name?
Yeah, the maiden name.
It's a maiden name. And they use the maiden name for the reason of you are a bastard child. Okay? That's how they have it wrote out, that you are a bastard child. You are signed over to the state. That state makes your birth certificate in all capital letters. They take that to your mom, who must sign on. Oh, yeah, that's his name. And sign over. And basically, they sign you over to the state, vital statistics, secretary of your state, to the Treasury, and your birth certificate is housed in the warehouse in the Federal Reserve. Your birth certificate has the red numbers on it, just like Jordan Maxwell explained. That right there can be looked up on the Dow Jones Industrial. You can look at it right on the markets. It will tell you exactly what your little slave life is worth. And it's what you pay in your taxes. That is what they operate on, is off of our credit and our work. And that is our collateral against the debt where the Federal Reserve owns us. And again, there is remedy. You can sidestep that and be private. That no longer affects you by any means. When they see that you own your name, they can't do shit. Not one damn thing. If you didn't hurt someone or their property or steal, go about your merry way. Here's some money. We're sorry we bothered you. Bye. Because they don't want to come out with the big lie. They can't come out with the big lie.
I I think that's why that cop did what he did, because he knew that old boy was in process of doing that through the UCC. The guy was in process, and he called him out there, and he meant to murder him. He meant to kill the old boy.
How do you did? They would own his ass. You cannot kill a fucking private individual. You kill a private individual, man, they will fuck you. They will fuck you really bad.
But anyhow, hey, another question real quick, Mike. Is that trail, is that state, county, or city land, where that part or that little trail's at?
You know what? Here, let me pull it up, man, so that you can see this real quick. Because really, it's county land.
So there's no federal funding goes into it or nothing. It's just county property.
Exactly. Hold on.
They bought the railroad easement?
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
Now, they did that sometime back after they closed the railroad. Oh, wait. You know what? I want Delphi there. Because that gives the outline of Delphi, Indiana. But you'll see right here, and let me go back and make sure that this is on.
Yeah, because that's
here.
when the trees stand and everything down there, that when I saw that video, I was like, wow, man, how the hell are they hung it down there? And then I got thinking, maybe the county or somebody like that had got it, and it wasn't a state park.
Okay, see, right here's the park, but this is where the trail begins, right here, right? Now, if you're following that trail down, as you can see, that trail is like outside of the Delphi limits, which is in red right here. So when you hop on this trail, you are on county property. All of this down here is county property, all of it. Now, the bodies were found. Where in the hell is that?
I think it was down off Ronald Logan's property, wasn't it?
Right here. Well, it is, but I got to blow this up a little bit. Here it is. So see, all of this right here is county property, man. They had bought this out from the railroad. That's where the trail ends right here. Now, 100 feet out from both sides is got an easement, but the rest up to here is K. Weber's property. When you cross, now you also have your 10-foot easement on both sides of the creek. That's so somebody could park their canoe, camp, or whatever. But right back in here was the crime scene. Now, that's on county property. But it is not Delphi property.
It's untelling how many times he is in there to scope that damn property out.
Hang on a minute. Hey, Mr. Cat. Hey, how you doing? Caroline XO Liz, do you smoke weed?
She's asking you that?
Yeah, I believe so. Hang on, I'm thinking about how to answer that. No, I don't. Not that I couldn't. Not that I couldn't. Not that they could arrest me for it. But no. The old me, dude, though. Oh, the old me, man. I was a different dude then, man. Yeah, today, man, I keep my vices secret. Although, and I did hear this through a friend, and I have yet to check it out, but I did hear that Lois from Family Guy gets banged on Pornhub. I'm still wanting to check that out. Thank you.
Damn.
Hey, man, she's just got such a cute voice, man. I want to hear that. Bam, 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 bam.
She was the one that's off that Mad TV, wasn't she? The one that done the little Chinese.
Yep, that's her. That is her. And all her Jewish beauty voice.
She had that was the most annoying character that's been on any damn TV show.
Oh, man, there is not a sexier voice than Lois. Oh, my God. Oh, holy crap. First time I seen Lois, I'm like, yeah, I'd hit it. Yeah.
What what was that character's name on Mad TV?
You know what? I forget, and I know the lady you're talking about because she had almost that butch haircut.
It was missing something. It's like she had a bowl on her damn head.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, no. God, I can't remember the name of that character, but it was an annoying character. She'd get on every damn body's nerves.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Mad TV was all right. Yeah, it had some good. You know what? I missed In Living Color. In Living Color was funny.
They had that one deal that they done on there on Mad TV. Will Sasso done. What was it? Kenny Rogers' Jackass. Have you ever watched that one?
Huh.
You'd hate that. What he done was mixed Kenny Rogers with that series on MTV, Jackass.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was the premise of it. And they would have drinking contests. They'd drink liquor and beer and milk, mix it all together, beat each other with bats. It was insane.
Yeah.
He'd say, "I'm Kenny Rogers, and welcome to Jackass." And they would just do stupid stuff. And it was, the premise was, like I said, Kenny Rogers. It was the most insane stuff that I'd ever seen on TV. But anywho, getting back to the map there. Have you got it pulled up? Because I'm
map?
5 seconds behind you.
The map?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the map's up. Now here, let me pull this back and I'll show you what I mean here. Because this red outline is Delphi, okay?
Yeah.
Well, the trail is within Delphi, or is outside of. You come in here and you walk right down through here, but you see it's split from here to there. So you're not on Delphi property. Now, when you get back down here and cross the bridge, take them down, and then back over to this group of trees here, that's on county property. And now when I talk to Sheriff Lesenby, you know what? I ain't even got that on that thing, do I? Hell no.
So that's why the city police is not involved. It was in the county where the crimes happened.
Yeah. So like right in here is where it is. And this is county property. Let me run that back up here. But as you see, man, the city property splits all the way up to here. So when you hit that trail and you walk it down through here, you're on county property, not city property. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of this is starting to make sense on how it's all played out, as far as the law enforcement, And of course, the state, has priority, and then the FBI, I guess, they come in and took over. And they're all three working together, on the case.
Yeah. Well, I know that the FBI, like Sheriff Lesenby said, they did CSI, forensics. They was helping with the investigation, so.
Well, I kept wondering why the city wasn't having anything to do with it, and now that makes sense, where it's out in the county.
Well, the city basically hands out parking tickets.
So they got a small city department there.
Oh, dude, man, 3,500 people. Look, man, city cops don't know shit about crime.
Okay.
It'd be one thing if it was like LA, but city cops in Delphi, shit, what is there, 2? And they just hand out parking tickets. They ain't getting investigated into any crime like that because they have no idea. Zero.
Is that a pretty big county?
God, no. Man, the whole of the county is 20,000 people. Man, woman, and child, 20,000 people. 60,000 people have phoned in. But they're still giving it out it's a local person, 18 to 40. Bullshit. His ass would have been arrested immediately. I know better than that. And at the time, I already knew who did it.
Well, I didn't know. You can have a big county and not have that many people in it. It just depends on how rural it is. I was just wondering what the layout.
No, this is a dinky little town. So, look, 3,500 people. Divide that in half. What do you get? 1,750 men. Now you divide that into when they're 18 to 40. Well, how many men do you have? You know, then you have X amount of men. Well, we can draw these people out because they have blue eyes. We can draw this many people out because they don't fit the description. Too short, too tall. You know, you could narrow that down really quick. Now, the FBI was there for, God, I don't know, I want to say 45 days, man, with like, you know, their satellite dish back to Quantico. Everybody was being checked through that. With all the people that was like under suspicion that they had to investigate, myself being one of them, Greeno being another one. Why? Because there was somebody on Facebook who didn't like a video we made. Because everybody was just calling that tip line just to be a douche. I called it one time after I already knew that they knew who it was, but I let them know the information that I had because if it could help, it could help.
Could you imagine all the finger pulling and backbiting that's going on inside that little town?
No, I don't even go there.
I could imagine. I wouldn't want to even. Oh my God!
What? God damn it!
Well, sounds like your fur baby's getting out of hand. Well, brother, I'll let you go and let you handle Wolfie, and I'll be on standby again. And I look forward to hearing and seeing the show Tuesday, brother.
All right, I will be here Tuesday. Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. I will be having Delphi Justice as my special guest. And it should be a good show. I hope everybody shows up. It's at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Remember that. Don't wait for a notification. Never happened. YouTube don't like me. And I can't blame them.
Brother. Well, I'll see you then, brother.
All right, man. You have a good evening, sir. Peace. All right, people. That's going to wrap this show up for this evening. I hope everybody does show up Tuesday, 6 p.m. I will catch you all then, man. And I thank everybody for being here tonight, man. I just wanted to make a quick video live, man, because I was just killing time. Peace, everyone. Talk at you soon.